All right, messages are out. What's going on, everybody? How are you all doing on this fine day? Let me go ahead and check my camera, which is clearly not on yet, but it is on now. There we go. What's going on, happy people? Boss Page, what up, man? How are you on this fine day? Go ahead and get you over here, and then actually. Let me spin this game up and see if I can display it a little differently. 1 second. Tyranny! Darmo, what up, man? How are you? Queen, what's going on? Aiden, what's up? What's up? I am doing well. I hope you all can say the same. Let's go for the skull throne. Date is reset, so I'll be able to all right. That's awesome, Queen. Glad to hear it. Very, very glad to hear it. Now, let me see something. Will this display properly? 1 second. Game capture, properties, rogue trader, tyranny. Okay. Now, does it pull that up correctly? It seems like it does. So let's see if we can stick with that. And pull it up. Awesome. And let's press continue. I am excited to get back to Tyranny. Really enjoyed our last stream. Hope all of you did as well. It was an okay day at work. I got no complaints. No complaints. Hope it wasn't too bad for you all either. In the last game, it was our first time streaming Tyranny. And we just kind of went through the beginning sections. Oh, and then we also got the first mission, which let us know we've got 8 days to get these jokers to act right and do what they're supposed to do before an edict is going to come down that basically destroys everything. Lori, what's going on? See, you do a playthrough is make me want to start up another game of my own. Yeah, absolutely. Tyranny is well worth it. I don't remember if we talked to Surveillance. We did, right? He's the one who had me go to said that there's a particular place he wants me to stop by. No problem. Sunset, what's up? I'll re-download this because of you. That's awesome. I love using my channel as an opportunity to get people to play more CRPGs. So that's right in line with what I want. That's fantastic. Got no time to chitter. Too much armament. Speak to Uncle Pitboard if you've got rings to trade. This cart is bursting with fresh food and useful goods. Hail to you, guardian of the law. The man dressed in merchant finery greets you with a smile. If you have a few excess rings weighing you down, best unburden yourself before battle. You know that if the disfavored suffer a merchant in their camp, that must be a man selling only the finest provisions and armaments. He points to his collections of shields, rations, satchels, wineskins, and other sundries. Take a look and see if something interests you. Lawbreaker. Might I take a closer look in one of those crates? Standard inspection procedure. He hesitates and then corrects with a welcoming smile. Of course. By all means, I have nothing to hide. He makes a show of removing the crate's lid and shows off his wares with an open palm. His supplies are all perfectly ordinary. You see nothing out of place or unauthorized by his mercantile license. Subterfuge. Try to steal something. You lean down to inspect the merchant's wares and spot a few rings that must have fallen to the bottom of a crate. As you shift supplies aside during the course of your inspection, you make a point of palming the rings, confident that they won't be missed. The merchant pretends to not observe your action, but a momentary flash of disappointment is evident in his eyes. You'll be all right. Hawk, what up, man? How are you? How are things? Nice to see you playing a classic. Yeah. Decided to get into one. But it's disappointing that you can't do more than one playthrough of DD2. Yep. Once I get DD2, might do the Mage Sorcerer route, then possibly miss Experiment down the line. Now, keep in mind, DD2 doesn't cap your levels. I think you can go up to like level 999. So there's nothing stopping you from like playing 30, 40 hours as Mage Sorcerer and then flipping into something else entirely for a long time as well, which is part of the reason why they feel confident about capping you on one playthrough. But yeah, I hate it. I really enjoy my time with DD2, but at the end of the day, it's not my type of game, and that's why I felt comfortable walking away from it. Greg, what's going on, dude? Heads up, I have a gun. You play. I play Underrail, I shoot. I see that there are a couple of Underrail fans. You know, sooner or later, I do plan to play it on my own. to do a review and maybe even a new player guide. And I'm not gonna stream it. I don't feel like it's a good stream game. But what I'll probably do is um, live stream it on the Discord, so that it's not on the full YouTube channel. But some of the people who like Underrail, who want to chime in and be a part of that, they'll be able to watch me play it. Ooh, got you on Wrath of the Righteous as well. That's another good CRPG for sure. For sure. Ektia, what's going on? How's the new Heretic run going? So far, so good. I got no complaints. How did you come to work with the Disfavored? Hard work and good supplies. When Tunnan's men came to my village, all the merchants were given different lists of what they were or weren't permitted to trade. He smiles, hands on hips. In Kairos' wisdom, my record must have been a good one, because I was given the right to trade in all manner of goods. Most importantly, arms. Not a lot of merchants can legally sell weapons. It was like that even before Kairos. Let me see your wares. Pentabor rubs his hands, eyes alight. Let's see if we can find something you might like. Regular. Ooh, Sigil of Frost. I'll take that. Even though I can't open that. Oh, but it looks like I can do that. So yeah, sure. And then is there anything that I want to trade? I don't need that. Might need that other stuff though. So we'll keep that around and trade. Excellent. All right. The disfavored insignia has been violently defaced. The table is lined with various medicinal herbs. It would appear that they have been carefully rationed. Corcus, what's going on? How are you? Crimson, what's going on? Underrail is fantastic. Got about 300 hours in it. Yeah, I did a stream of Underrail a couple of days ago. That definitely convinced me why people enjoy it so much. I just don't think it's a good game for streaming. So I'll probably circle back to it on my own, but I'm not going to do like a whole live stream playthrough. So do you think you're going to end the world or just be a bully? I might flat out end the world. We'll see. Oh, yeah, frozen lightning. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things you can do with magic in this game. Don't just coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. Iron Marshal Irinoius, field commander disfavored, pounds her fist in the air. She calls out to the warriors on the training field. I said eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. The disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat as she clears her throat. Need to stay on top of the troops or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. How are your warriors reacting to the edict? Kairos' ultimatum has the camp on edge, some with dread, but most are ripe with anticipation. She points to the men sparring in the field. We have a lot of brothers and sisters to avenge, and the warriors are eager to take out some aggression. I, for one, choose to see the edict as a blessing, for it forces the generals to act, and we're long overdue. It was mentioned you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? I have brigades amassing along Placid, Echo Call, and Little Tooth crossings. The Vendrian Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-pronged attack. I have no right to give you orders, but her words falter, a short cough breaking her flow. But we all died at Kairos' edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good health. This is the second major attack on the river, correct? What happened last time? Defeat in detail. We carved a bloody path up to the river, but at that point, everyone who charged ahead was lost. We had no chorus backup. It was just a few disfavored squads. I can't tell you exactly how they were defeated, but we lost the whole assault team. She shakes her head, letting out a long, pained sigh. We found bodies washing up in the river for days. It's not often the Tearsmen put up such a good fight. It certainly made us reevaluate the number we'll need to take this valley. Underrail has a big learning curve, to be fair. Yeah, that's part of what motivates me to do a new player guide. I feel like there's probably a lot of people who are hesitant to play it, but would feel more confident if they had a couple of good videos to help them out. What's going on, Storm? How are you? This game reminds me of Baldur's Gate 2. Yeah, it's in that same line of thinking. It's in that same vein. Mass healing, mass thunderstorms, firestorms, it's all super OP. Yeah, I'm planning to take full advantage of it. Did take me a few restarts to get my build right. That's another thing that made me stop the live stream. I wasn't satisfied with my build, so when I go back and play it, I'm probably going to do it again. I always seem to fall in line with the disfavored or the rebels, personally myself. This time, we're probably going to side with the cores for the most part because I'll be playing Chaotic Evil. So maybe you'll get to see some content you haven't seen in this game yet. Are you going to make a highlight reel like the Wrath of the Righteous and Rogue Trader ones for Tyranny? And are you going to focus on the conquest options or the evil options? I don't know what I'm going to focus on yet. And I'm not sure if I'll do a video series similar to Wrath of the Righteous. Probably not, because this game is so much older. I feel like that's not content people will really be interested in. I'm definitely going to do a review for this game and a couple of other videos talking about some things that I like in it. And maybe I'll do a new player's guide. We'll see. But I'm not sure if I'll do like a storyline type of content the way I do for other times. For magic, your lore skill needs to be high. Yeah, I plan to focus on lore for my character, even though he wields a bow. Really? Are you sure our scouts didn't give you all sorts of details about the enemy and you chose to disregard our warnings? It sounds like your lack of caution is to blame, not the Scarlet Chorus. Lack of caution. My legion is my family. I do not play loosely with their lives. The only blame here is on the Oathbreakers. It is their intransigence that created this conflict in the first place. There's no need to blame your teeth, at least. I can hear them grinding from over here. What's the value of taking the crossing? We can't just march from here to the Citadel with the Vendrian Guard manning the riverbanks. Forwarding troops and supplies through even the narrowest points of the river makes us vulnerable to attack, especially since our armor wasn't built for swimming. She points north toward the mountain spire looming on the horizon. If we could take the river, we have a clear march to the Citadel, and Ascension Hall will be ours in no time. Did this favorite need my help? Trying to pour salt on my pride? We left Fort Resolution with 100 on 100, and there have been no reinforcements or reserves. I keep throwing warriors back into battle before they're properly rested. So yes, I need to rely on all our allies, especially since most of our allies are conscripted tiersmen, worse than useless. If the disfavored didn't take every opportunity to insult the Scarlet Chorus, perhaps you'd find our help more forthcoming. Shut your snout, filthy mongrel. I won't suffer childish japes in my camp. She has a point. The disfavored constantly mock the Scarlet Chorus. The disfavored have history, pedigree, proper training, all the things these southern conscripts lack. We didn't train for decades to be peers and equals of these traitor tiersmen. We've lived lives of dedication to Kairos, and the Chorus accepts any fickle coward too fearful to die by their convictions. What you're seeing here is disfavored bigotry at its finest. I'm somehow at fault because my country wasn't conquered before I was born. Forget that I chose Kairos. Forget that I chose the Scarlet Chorus. Forget that I chose to fight off rapists and killers to earn my place in the army, just for the disfavored to call me a worthless turncoat to my face. No one gave me a suit of armor that I could hide behind. No one issued me a sword and a measure of authority. I took everything that I have, and I fight every day to keep it. Fucking northern swine. My frustration was aimed at those in the Chorus who accept Kairos lightly. The disfavored commander withdraws a half pace, like loyalty was some shifting breeze. Content people will be interested in is a Space Marine in September. Yeah, I can't wait. Really looking forward to that. This guy's dynamic portrait, and it's a nice touch. Yeah, sometimes it comes off a little cartoonish, but I like the fact that some of the portraits are animated. Like you can see the little flame going behind them there, and then some of like the boss level characters you talk with, they have really cool effects in the portrait. So Cole, what's up, man? Wrath of the Righteous needed tons of content. It was so dense that anyone could get lost. Yep, that's why I spent so much time with it on the channel. Seems like it's to befriend the Scarlet Chorus and piss off the favorite as the start of Civil War, make Kairos Legion super evil instead of normal evil. Yeah, but in the end, I'm still going to go with the independent route of anarchy. So Scarlet Chorus aren't going to be happy with me either. Verse, I really liked her a lot. Yeah, she's a super cool character. What's my help worth to you? What's it worth? Irenaeus takes a half step back, placing our arms on our sides. You read the edict. If we don't survive, take the Ascension Hall, it's your sorry hide too. Do you need a bribe to care about your own survival? Subterfuge. Turn to leave. Ah, sorry to waste your time. Clearly, the Scarlet Chorus is in greater need of help. You are better prepared than the Scarlet Mob, that much is true. But the downside of being Kairos' most elite fighting force is that we only accept the best, which leaves us short-handed at times. She cocks her head to the side. I get it. Your duty was to proclaim an edict, not to anchor a shield wall. If you assist us, I can put in a good word with Archon Ash and the soldiers. Fighting incurs all manner of expenses. Subtle, shrewd. She shakes her head slowly, unbooking a string of copper rings from her belt hook. Maybe the chorus leaders have their breeches sagging from too much wealth, but around here, soldiers are paid pauper salaries, and the quartermasters handle all the nonsense. With an underhand toss, she lobs the rings your way. If that's what it takes to stop the edict that threatens to kill us all, help yourself. All right, I will assist. Then our plan just might work. The Iron Marshal lifts her gauntlet up to her face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. We are loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Tunnen the Adjudicator selects only the most capable minds for its court, and I trust you will honor us all on the field. Antio will be leading the charge at Echo Call Crossing. Assisting you will be Barrack of the Stone Shields. She points to a heavily armored soldier standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the Forge Bound once lost on Dappleseed when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and this armor doesn't exactly come off. Tactically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise, it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice, Irinos signals to the hulking presence. Barrack, come meet the Fatebinder. The soldier that steps up to you better resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible. Good Lord.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
An honor.
Likewise, good Binder.
The soldier heaves a heavy iron arm into a salute, his whole body clanging as he wraps his gauntlet against the twisted sheets of metal that form his breastplate.
Barrack, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
Just a minute, you two know each other?
No. Oh, that is to say, yes. I'm already as familiar with this ironclad halfwit as I care to be.
She regards Barrack with a mixed look. On 4, anarchist route. Yep, that's the plan. I've heard to let you get everything instead of limiting your area choices. Really? Oh, okay, I'm looking forward to that. First, I love her and Ebb, trying to see if I can corrupt her. I've never had Ebb in my party doing an evil playthrough, so I think I might keep her, except, is Ebb the one you kick off of the top of the tower? Because I really kind of want to do that. So if that's her, she might not make it, but we'll see. Yo, Naked Snake, what's up, man? How are you? Jeremiah, what's up? Feces gross. Yeah. What's he gonna do? So what kind of arc do you have in mind? Is it V for Vendetta Order without rulers? Or is it Dark Knight Hell on Earth? Hell on Earth, for sure. Oof, Duff. Just laying out shower. He's got no way to get that armor off. She could be one of a few that could be kicked, I think. Oh, there are different options. Okay, I didn't realize that.
We don't have time to trade jabs today, Verse. After the siege, you can throw as many tantrums as you please. I suggest that we remain focused on the mission.
No offense to the mission, but seeing you looking like a garbage heap and reeking of a mass grave is more amusing by far. Did you forget how to don your armor, or did Graven Ash leave you out in the rain?
Barrack sighs, a frustrating growl shaking his iron enclosure of a suit. I don't believe we've been acquainted.
It's challenging enough to experience battle from a courtroom, much less remember the faces of your cohorts. I wouldn't expect you to know me under these accursed blades of rust.
He bangs on his malformed chest armor for emphasis. The Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help. And more importantly, if my worries come true and the chorus tries to impede the mission, we'll have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the Honorable Binder than some chorus children.
He nods to you, his armor creaking as he bends his neck. I asked that Barrick accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus.
If you rule better now than you did the last time you were in Apex, we should get along well enough.
Uh-oh.
My conscience won't let me forget the poisoned soldiers whose deaths went unavenged.
Barrick stands at stiff attention. Whether his normal posture or the result of his inflamed temper, it's impossible to tell. Barrick, you've been without a cohort since the last battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. She plants her hands on her hips and speaks in clipped, official terms. Ash has assigned you to the fight binder's service. You're to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the fate binder dismisses you. Is that understood? Barrick regards the Iron Marshal in oppressive silence. That's an order, Barrick. She shakes her head and sighs, returning her focus to you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. I do mind, but I'll allow it anyway. If only so I could put a large object between myself and the enemy. She regards you with a perplexed frown. Barrick is indeed here for your protection. If you don't find him suitable for duty, you're free to discharge him from service. Alright. The poor guy in Mass Effect 2. Yeah. Sharingal, what's going on? You can kick Ebb or one of the generals, whichever one you infiltrate the tower with. Oh, one of the generals can be kicked off the tower? That's crazy. Jovi, what's going on? How are you? Maybe one day we'll get Tyranny too, Jeremiah. It would be nice. When would be appropriate to do F or 07? So you're evil and we want everyone to die. What do you mean F or 07? All right. Oh, he's got a level up. We'll talk to him a bit. Right, they both probably have conversation options. This sparring dummy shows the deep gouges of hard use. These spears are uniform in their quality craftsmanship. Ooh, another bow. Okay, that might be useful. What's going on over here? The Outbreakers already had their chance. No use in wasting cell space on traitors of Kairos. Fresh straw in the corner of this prison cell absorbs much of the stench.
That wasn't so hard.
Okay, those are gloves. Isotanus curses the air as a blade of thin iron breaks in half beneath his hammer. Repairing weapons with scrap isn't exactly why I got into this craft, but our supplies are spent. He wipes the sweat from his brow and gets a better look at you. Ah, the Fate Binder. I would be sizing and adjusting a lot more around here, but I have left scouts to tend to thanks to the chorus that poisoned them. He sets his mouth into a thin line. He takes another hard swing at the already broken sword, this time smashing it to pieces. Of course, you would know about all those two-faced murderers since you defended them. The court makes no apologies for a ruling. No matter. The court has its own concerns, I'm sure. Right now, I'm more concerned with the iron shortage. Why not forge bronze? Bronze will do in a pinch, don't get me wrong. It can take a beating and get bent back into shape, unlike this stubborn iron we have here. He glances at a pile of his work with dread. And we always have plenty of tin and copper lying around, so supplies aren't the problem. It is a rare smith who can churn out military-grade bronze consistently. More often than not, it comes out soft. Look around camp. We're garbing the Legion head to toe in iron because it's cheaper and easier to produce for the masses. Couldn't do that with bronze. He looks Barrick up and down. Of course, some of us do go overboard from time to time. They called it his favorite the Iron Legion for a reason. Strategy and skill may be our backbone, but our claws are made of iron. The good stuff that comes from the smiths in Lithian's Crossing. Why not forge your own iron? Only the forge-bound smiths can make the stuff. They know the secret of iron. All I can do is mend and maintain their craft. It takes a master, nay, an artist, to make a piece of iron fit for an indomitable soldier such as a disfavored. Hear that, Barrick? You're a work of art. A hot, stinking, unbearable sculpture of war. Forgive me if I don't share your enthusiasm, verse. I am a tool for Graven Ash to carry into battle, and I wear that distinction with pride. Do not bother to interpret me as anything else. Harsh critic. You mentioned an iron swordage? I kicked the court's representative and had Lantry write my edict and attach it to his armor so they could read it on his corpse. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, Jovi, this is an Obsidian game. My cows are appearing severely dislike wearing flat-footed shoes with arched feet. Oh, then definitely get off your feet, Quinn. I mean, like the F to pay respects me, and O staff is used as a substitute for salute to the fallen. I didn't know that. Hey, James, what's going on, man? How are you? Pain is a power surge corrupting your save file. Do you use the resting bug before reading the scroll? No, I don't even know what the resting bug is. Well, is this the game where you're playing as the villain? You can play as the villain if you want to, and you start out as the villain, but you could decide to go in a different direction if you so choose. Do you think you ever attempt Metal Gear Survive so your viewers can relish in your suffering? I don't even know what Metal Gear Survive is. Tell me about it. I'm afraid so. The last shipment was sent down the Madanai went missing near Echo Call Crossing, and I'm afraid we won't be seeing any more now that the valley is sealed. Forge-bound iron is Tunnen's responsibility. Why is this the first I'm hearing of it? Keep your voice down. I saw Tannis flinches and lowers his own. Graven Ash doesn't want to cause a panic or pass any information to the Vendrian guard. Best case scenario, the iron tumbled off a boat and is rusting on a riverbed. Worst case, it ends up in enemy hands. I've been instructed to aid in Operation Echo Call. I'll keep an eye out for your shipment. I appreciate that, as does the great general, more than you might guess. Maybe he isn't quick to offer his thanks to outsiders, but I know he'll be grateful for your help. It would be a boon to the war effort if our iron was recovered. I'm here to help, even if that means cleaning up the Archon's mess. No need to salt the wound, Fatebinder. None of us is mistaken in thinking that the siege has gone exactly as planned. He glances to a crate beside him and points to a small set of notches on the wood. You see that? That is how we tell apart our iron shipments from the rest. Inconspicuous so people don't go snooping around. You'll want to keep your eye out for these. Good hunting. Need something else? I'd like to see your wares. So there's a staff, dagger. He's got a tower shield. Oathbound helm. Let's see. Oathbound helm is... Yep, good deal, better. But wait, we also have stone shield helm. Pierce armor. Okay, so it looks like they're basically the same. Oh wait, I forgot. You can't switch out his armor pieces, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. All right. Oh wait, but she might be able to use the dagger, can she? Let's see. Red Rivers and Gutseeker. Oh, you know what? I think you're supposed to hold on to her daggers and just upgrade them. Whoa. Right click for accuracy +4. And then what do you get? Minor parent +4 parry. Interesting. Okay. All right. We'll leave it as is then. Oh, that's a dope concept. Adding this one to my backlog. Oh, yeah. I definitely recommend you try it out. The resting bug. It was originally a bug, but the devs left it in because it was so cool. It's spam resting past the day the decree is supposed to go into effect, and then meeting with the Archons, thereby giving you a full year to finish the first act. Really? Oh, wow. That's interesting. I never knew you could do that. So Metal Gear Survive is basically cheap. Now, with capitalism, all you need is they charge you for an extra save file. Survive was years after asset flip of MGS5 as a zombie survival game. Was it actually good? Was it fun?
Sorry,
All right,
can't.
Can't get over there. Nothing over there. All right, so we'll go over here. And hold on, you should be up front. And then oh, they allow you to actually here we go. Yeah, that sounds a little better. All right, now this. Okay, armor. Oh, in fact, wait. Oh no,
I don't think
want
so.
shield, though. Be carefully rationed. Carefully skinned game hang from the branch. They appear sickly and malnourished.
It's all in the reflexes.
Disgusting. That.
Not happening. Not happening.
All right. Now it's finally time to move on. Oh, wait, no. We need to finish these combos. Cole, what's going on, man? How are you? Yep, streams are going well. I got no complaints, dude. Alright, save. And Verse first. What do you want to do? How did you do that? Verse looks at you with a quizzical expression. Do what? Back in the Archon's war tent, you cast an edict as casually as reading a supply shipment. How do you do that? Well, I've done it before. You cast the Edict of Fire on the Vellum Citadel. I heard about it. Kairo's anger raised a volcano from under the sage's own fortress. That was some impressive work. Conquest. Now, that was me, all right. Well, call me impressed. Considering that you've read the words of Kairos more than once, I'm surprised that you're even alive to tell of it. Your vocal cords should have turned to ash by now. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just worth recognizing what you've done. Not only are you Tunlin's fate binder, you're the mouthpiece of the Overlord. Gives me plenty of reason to stick around. You're going places, and I want to see where they lead. If you say so, I have some questions for you.
What do you need?
I want to ask about our travels.
What did you have in mind?
What do you think of our present circumstances? Well, there's an edict hanging over our heads. As far as I'm concerned, the incompetence of the disfavored got us into this mess. It will take the fury of the Scarlet Chorus to get us out of it. In other words, nothing ever changes. What do you think of our travel companions? Anyone in particular? What do you think of Barrick? Well, I'll give him some due credit. He's more complicated than he looks. He's still an intolerant, unapologetic bastard, but that's more his business than mine. Back to my previous questions.
Go ahead, Fate Binder.
All right, and we're all good. And there we go. Her talk symbol is no longer flashing, so we're good there. Now speak with Barrick. And Barrick is afraid of me. Barrick turns to face you, nodding silently. A short sigh escapes as he waits for you to speak.
What can I do for you?
Tell me about the disfavored. Played it, but I heard that the amount of fun you get from Metal Gear Survive is somewhere in between 10th Circle of Hell squared and Withdraw. Wow. Might you get this next? Yeah, I'd recommend it, Cole. I really enjoy this game. The rest of bug only works because Kairos gives a calendar date and not a year with this edict, meaning saying it a day after gives you a full year. That's insane. And hilarious. We are the Iron Legion, the warrior elite of Kairos' fighting force. I could easily lose count of the hours extolling our glories. What is it you'd like to know? Have you fought in any notable battles? I served in Stalwart for the better part of a year, faced the enemy everywhere from Coral Run to Sentinel Stand. I lost count of the battles. So it seems like we fought every other day. A sigh echoes in the cavern of his helm. Some of our best victories took place there, fighting an enemy worthy of our iron. But we were not successful enough to please the Overlord, and the final intervention was harsh on us all. Barrick takes in a deep breath, his arms folding as his posture stiffens. I had an unusual view of the Edict of Storms. Kairos' judgment left its mark on me. Yet considering how we fought at Stalwart, with the skill and honor of legend, only the Edict is remembered. A shame. Tell me about Graven Ash. Graven Ash is the general of the disfavored, a veteran of centuries of battle and an Archon without peer. I would follow him to the void and back without question. Beric swings his arm in salute. How did he come to serve Kairos? Before the uniting of the Northern Empire, Graven Ash served as a warlord in the service of one of the local kings that defied Kairos' rule. Incredible as it may seem, Ash stood against Kairos' rule. Though his army was dismantled by Kairos' overwhelming numbers, Ash's forces performed admirably. It was said that he and his troops claimed 77 lives for each of their own. Kairos took an interest in the military genius that blooded his army. Graven Ash was summoned to a conclave of archons, and though he was set in chains, he left as an archon, having been granted a position of power in Kairos' great host of war. Thus, the disfavored were born. All of us today trace our line back to those warriors that impressed Kairos with their will and tenacity. The only difference is now we fight on the winning side. Though the general seldom speaks of it, I know that Ash humbled himself in order to spare his troops the brunt of Kairos' punishment. His loyalty to the old blood of the North is beyond question. So, Ash bent his knee to a conqueror. Graven Ash made the ultimate sacrifice. To spare the Legion, he put his loyalty ahead of his pride. There is no greater honor, and I will not hear otherwise from the likes of you. Beric leans forward and glares through the darkness of his helm. A groan of bending metal resounds in the silence between you. What else do you know of his past? I follow him into battle. I am not his personal scribe, and I do not know more of him. It would not be my place to say. Beric takes a half step back, folding his arms across his chest. As an archon, what magic does he wield? Ash works his magic through us, his soldiers. When we do battle, Ash seems to know the events even before our runners have given word. Most importantly, though, he protects us. It's a bit tricky to explain unless you've experienced it. I can think of countless times I've been struck by a spear or hit with an axe, and every run through with an arrow. And in each of these moments, the pain and injury just cease to be. None of us know how he does it, or how he can sense that we're in danger and intervene from afar. But I suppose that's why he's an archon. What he does probably wouldn't make sense to someone like me. How do you feel about Graven Ash? How do I feel about him? Archon Ash is the bravest, warmest, most compassionate general who ever lived. He's a living icon of leadership and courage. Beric tilts his head slightly to the side, as far as the suit's limited range of motion permits. Ash is a soldier, but he doesn't kill for sport. A leader, but he doesn't issue commands to hear himself talk. He demands discipline and sober conduct of his troops, and I applaud such standards. Head over heels, apparently, this guy. I like how the portraits change when they perform actions and dialogue. Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes it comes off as a little cartoonish and takes away from the seriousness of the game, but there are definitely some times where I like it, especially the animations that they put in the portraits. I only wish Tunin would have some reaction to the rest bug. That would be awesome. Loser, what's up, man? How are you? Graven Ash is a big fucking baby is what he is. I see you're not a fan. You usually side with the Scarlet Chorus. Back to my question about the disfavored. What can you tell me of your time in the Legion? I joined the Legion 3 years before the conquest of the Tears began. Though handy with a few weapons, my size made me the perfect addition to a phalanx. I've served with the Stone Shields ever since. Proud to say I've stood front row, right corner in over a dozen battles. That has been my place ever since the Iron Marshal gave me the assignment. The Bastard City, the Gates of Judgment, Vendrian Pass, Okan's Ring, a quick tour in Barris and Chains, and then Stalwart. I spent a long time in Stalwart, lost a lot of friends there. What are the other disfavored lieutenants? They are Graven Ash's most trusted officers and warriors from the Iron Guard. Between Ash's arcane powers of command and his cadre of gifted leaders, there's little confusion or chaos in the ranks. Tell me of the one they call Iron Marshal. She takes it upon herself to train and harden our greener recruits. Not only that, she has a keen eye for talent and how to foster it for leadership. She is the youngest member of the Iron Guard. Her family line served at his favor back before Ash bowed to Kairos. Say what you will of how many seasons she's weathered. Her lineage is impressive beyond measure. What of Karen's disciple, Radix? An Earthshaker who swore service to Karen a few years before the conquest. Since Karen is gone, the cult now follows Radix. Unlike his Archon, at least he knows how to follow orders. To his credit, Radix seems to appreciate the honor of fighting alongside the disfavored. Karen was always peeved to be invited in the glory. The mages seem a necessary complication. They are insubordinate and can't lug their own supplies, but I would not want to go to war without their spells of tremor and leaping stones. What of the scoutmaster, Merrick? Merrick is a devoted leader, and Ash seems to hold his council in high regard. Both set their troops ahead of themselves, which I'm sure is why they work so well together. He's no magician, but he does share a special connection to his war band, and they are entrusted with the most important scouting assignments. They say he can see what his scouts see, hear what they hear. Craven ass, more like Craven ass. Check over it out. Apparently, he's not a popular guy. Anarchy for life. Although the rebel path is interesting because you're uniting a bunch of pricks who hate each other as well. Yeah. The rebel path is really, really cool. But I've done that multiple times before. I want to do something different. Anarchy runs. I've done Anarchy and a Tunin lapdog build. Great game. I've never been Tunin's lapdog. I wonder how that goes. I've done the one where you can side with Tunin's right-hand man, and I've done Rebel, but I've never done Anarchy. So we're gonna go that way this time. I hate BMUs in this game. No regrets. Wow. I don't know if we're doing all that, James. No promises. What of the veteran warrior, Veramus? He is the finest of us, second only to Ash. Veramus is an evocatus, a soldier who lived to see the end of his term of service. It's rare for anyone to survive that long, much less willingly return. These days, he lends his tactical expertise to Graven Ash, though by all rights, he should be enjoying his twilight years in a seat of honor and dignity. Back to my questions about the disfavored. Go on, I'm listening. Why didn't the Legion prevent the uprising of Vendrins well? I think that's a question you ought to ask of the Scarlet Chorus. They too were charged with ensuring the locals remained vanquished and unarmed. Barrick lurches forward as he speaks, iron plates grinding under his motion. The disfavored are Kairos' elite. The duty was theirs to fail. I see, Joker. So the incompetence of the Chorus shields them from blame? That sounds like the sort of law Tunin would teach his fate binders. From where I'm standing, Metal Man, you're the only one still defending the disfavored. If you took a moment to own up to the Legion's shortcomings, that would go a long way toward making them stronger. What more can you tell me of the Legion? The disfavored accept only the finest warriors. We are all volunteers and soldiers by trade, not farmers and fishmongers pressed into service. There's a century of tradition, honor, and tactical mastery in our ranks. We don't just let anyone into the Legion. Only Northmen of character and prowess are welcome. What if a capable Tearsman wish to join? Actually, what about me? What if I wish to join? A charming sentiment, good fate binder, but no. You are sworn to another Archon. Your loyalty will be suspect. So why is the Legion called the disfavored? It is a name born in shame, now worn in honor. After Graven Ash stood against Kairos, he was forced to give up much, his allegiance, his pride, and the name of his vaunted army. What was the Legion originally called? The name has been forgotten by all save Ash and Kairos, and it's considered bad form to bring up the topic. Since you didn't know any better, I'll say this much. Disfavored is the only name by which one needs to know us. To speak of something else, back to my previous questions. I have some questions about the Scarlet Chorus. Our allies do not share the disfavored sense of honor and discipline. The Chorus will trust any criminal, rapist, or half-wit with a truncheon or blade. What would you like to know about the Scarlet Chorus? Gifu, what's up, man? How are you? I'm going for pure power in this game. I'm going to try to take over everything. Then the Anarchist Pass is for you, sir. You could be so lawful like in my run. Tunin is so impressed he swears personal loyalty to you. Very Aeonish. Interesting. You know what? That might end up happening anyway because I like the idea of playing Joker as someone who's tricking the lawful people into thinking that he's lawful as well. So if that goes well, I might actually get Tunin to like me. Hold on one second. That. All right. Jason, what's going on, man? How are you? Gamers rise up. These people sure do be talking reckless, and someone that read a scroll and the whole camp shook. All right, what would you like to know about the Scarlet Core? Hold on, why does it seem so low? Why does it seem so low? And 1 second, let me make sure. Is this still working? Yes, it is. Excellent. Okay, cool. What do you know of the voices of Narad? The Archon of Secrets? All I know are rumors, hearsay, speculation, but that's as much as anyone knows of the voices. Some accounts tell that he's actually dead, and the Overlord has trapped the minds of his foes in the same body to torture them all, as likely an explanation as any I've heard. In truth, I know little of the voices, and I have reason to suspect almost anything about him could be true. You could tell me his tears turned cheese back into milk, and it would seem more sensible to believe you than not. Do you know anything of his powers? I am no scholar of sorcery, but as I understand it, the voices of Narad is a thief of minds. They say he can swipe your thoughts and make them his own. I don't know how it works. When I recruited into the disfavored, the Iron Marshal told me never to take an audience with the voices if I didn't have a witness on hand. Do you think I'm disloyal? I really shouldn't comment on such matters. Barrick looks ahead blankly and then clears his throat. I heard his tears could turn cheese into milk. That's very amusing, Fate Biter. Oh, that gained loyalty to him, so he likes a good joke. Interesting. Sadly, you can't trick Tunnen. I tried. You have to be genuine. I also try to save or at least not fight his executioner, but you can't. Oh, interesting. I'm already on Blending Mark's good side. Just because you're on his good side doesn't mean he won't try to kill you. What do you know of his associate, the Archon Siren? Siren is the Archon of Song and one of the youngest of her rank. She can influence human emotion with her voice alone. The voices may be the conductor of the chorus, but I'd argue Siren is their best weapon. The voices put her talent to good use. She had her singing a song up and down the coast, and the Tearsmen defected to the chorus in droves. Back to my question about the Scarlet Chorus. Whoops, nope. Accidentally
Fate
exited
Binder.
out. Barrick eyes you up and down, shaking his head.
I found this on the web for what is the
I was not
iconic
talking
song
to you,
for
Siri. I said siren. That causes armored joints to
What can I do for you?
Question about the Scarlet Chorus. What can you tell me of their troops and tactics? Tactics? These are the first I've heard of them. The chorus is more of an irregular mob than a proper army. Still, it's a well-armed mob, and they even have a few proper warriors and magicians in their pitiful excuse for ranks. What do you know of their warriors? Most chorus rats are untrained peasants handed a knife or a pitchfork. It doesn't take much to qualify you for the front lines. One only needs a beating heart, and even then the chorus could make do. Of course, not everyone in the chorus is an infirm child or sickly old crone. Some ex-soldiers and madmen join, and the fighting elite of the chorus form a clique known as the Scarlet Furies. Barrick is too dismissive by far, but he's right that most recruits are novices pressed into service. Most will not survive the first few battles. Those who live will have to have experience to lead, and those who fall can easily be replaced. Let's see, what's the meaning? What sort of magic does the chorus use? The blood chanters are the mages who follow the voices of Narad. Like the chorus itself, their order is not steeped in tradition and antiquity, rather built on knowledge stolen from other guilds. Their fire magic earns them a place on the battlefield, but they also have chants that stir the mind and the heart. The motherless sods have spells that can bolster a man's courage or tap into his fears. Apparently, he's not a fan of them. If the chorus is a mob, how is it led and supplied? The voice of Narad gives orders to his elite commanders, who in turn send instructions out to the gang captains. But beneath that hierarchy, it is chaos. Whole gangs will break from the larger force and disperse back into their homelands. The chorus is inefficient beyond words, and yet more bodies keep coming in to replace those lost in the mess. Inefficient? Every weakling lost in the shuffle is one less burden to those in the choir still dancing to the song of battle. Our ways must be harsh. Otherwise, the stupid and the soft will inherit the chant. The chorus has a lot of mouths to feed, so the conscripts that can't or won't fight are made to gather food and water. Else, I'm told, they're fed to the pigs, becoming food and water in a sense.
Something went
Barrack
wrong.
shrugs.
Please try again.
Siri really acts like she isn't used to me talking all the time. What is the problem? Why do you keep trying to listen to me? Stop. Stop. All right. Back to my previous questions. How do you think the Scarlet Chorus convinced so many Tearsmen to join? Scarlet Chorus takes anyone with a pulse, apparently. It began with Seren. She had a song that got whole villages marching to her will. And once these peasants killed their neighbors or cousins in service of the voices, it either hardened them into warriors or broke their minds for servitude. Lots of criminals and drifters joined the chorus too. It seemed like the scum of the Tears just need the promise of glory and unsanctioned debauchery to turn on their neighbors. It's not pretty, and it shouldn't be. The chorus is a forge. All the dirt of the Tears goes in, and the finest bits are refined into weapons. There are many that join the Scarlet Chorus because they wish to join the winning side. It's a shame that such patriots were not born to proper northern stock, too weak or too slight to be disfavored. The Scarlet Chorus is their best freedom from fealty to the younger realms. Not everyone has the fortune of gaining Tunnen's favor. Better that the Tearsmen serve Kairos in some capacity than have him ride and math. Turn away. Did this favor turn away all people of the Tears? That seems selective to the point of foolishness. I would not expect the fate binder of Tunnen to grasp notions of pedigree and standards, that disfavored our family, not some military orphanage or home of second chances. Enough about the
Good.
Scarlet Chorus.
Let's move on to another matter.
What can you tell me of the Tears? Uphill both ways and full of dumb sods. I learned some history and training, and I've been here for a few years, but I'm no expert. What is your assessment of the local forces? There was a time early in the war when I would have feared the younger realms working together. Imagine that. Chuckles. Guess star the robot. let the brine sort it out. Maybe it'll stop talking reckless like that. Once I saw the modest scope of their defensive, I knew they would be easily outclassed. They couldn't even rally their best to make a competent stand. Tell me of the Vendoran Guard. There used to be the Queen's Royal Army of Vendoran. I guess defeat inclined them to a shorter name. We crushed them back in 429. I'm proud to say I took part in the decisive battle. You know the rest. A year after we thought them conquered, thousands of Vendoran oathbreakers murdered the garrison and declared themselves free of the Overlord's rule. Tell me about the unbroken union of stalwart. May they rot in the decrepitude of their fallen realm. Barrack squeezes his gauntlet into a hard fist. Much as it pains me to admit it, in all the rounds of the Tears, the Unbroken have been the only foe worthy to meet the disfavored in battle. The Unbroken value tradition, just as we do. Stalwart has never lost a war on their own soil, a reputation they take quite seriously. It is fortunate that Stalwart has poor relations with all its neighbors. The rest of the Tears will now come to their aid. So as bravely as they fight, their end is inevitable. What can you tell me of the Bronze Brotherhood? Mercenaries from the free cities. The chorus needed extra muscle, and you can always mint new rings. Hard to believe the Tearsmen turned on each other for mere loops of metal. The Bronze Brotherhood worshipped the Scourges. Yes, those monsters from the old walls. The mercenaries are grown adults that willingly admire a magical abomination. Read into that what you will. That said, it should surprise no one that the Bronze Brotherhood eventually wanted more than just rings and turned on their contract. Kairos now considers them an enemy, which is for the best. The Overlord needs a better class of combatants. Back to my previous questions.
Fatebinder.
What do you know of the Younger Realms? Before we marched on the Bastard Tier, I recall Graven Ash giving us a speech as we stood assembled at Fort Resolution. He told us that the Younger Realms lacked the sense to make a stand against us. I don't think I need to point out that the average Tearsman is just plainly inferior to the sons and daughters of the North. For every one of ours they kill, we must drag a score and a half bleeding into the soil with us. It didn't help that they're afraid of magic and relied on their battlefield prowess to stage a defense. What do you know of the Beastmen? They drilled us on Beastmen combat before the invasion, but it did little to prepare us. The local savages are lacking in brains, hygiene, and the ability to arm themselves. Yet the prime hunters of their species are formidable. Aside from being rapacious killers, the Beastmen make good hunters and laborers once you've killed the half that won't follow orders. Enough about the kids. As you like. You seem like a more than capable fighter. I trained with the spear and shield in my youth, but gave it up the day I earned his favorite iron. I can still throw with some accuracy, but it's a challenge these days. He knocks twice on his helmet. Why? Were you interested in a sparring session? I can spar with him. Threed, what's going on, man? How are you? Out on my D&D campaign, I don't think the DM quite understands the task they took. They accepted 12 players into this campaign? Holy smokes, that sounds crazy. Kid, what's going on? I'm glad I finally got to see this game. Yeah, if you haven't played it before, I definitely recommend it. I don't know if you allow spoilers to chat about the games you play, but I love the way this game implies history repeating itself. Yeah, this game is 8 years ago, so I don't mind spoilers in this one. Gifu, I'm lenient on spoilers when a game's been out for whatever amount of time. It feels like brand new, and there are a bunch of people in the chat who probably never played it, then that'd be different. And get 12 people there. In a way, you're walking the same path that Kairos did to power. So you kind of get to make her history as you go. I always thought that was neat. I never thought of it that way, but you might be right. Abandonment, what's going on, man? How are you? Show me impale or sword fighting. I don't need either of those. No, I'm good. Perhaps later. I'd like to know more about you. I am the line your enemies cannot cross. All other details are meaningless, but I suspect you have some thirst for details, so ask away. Did you seek the trade of war, or did it find you? Both, I suppose. I knew fighting was in my blood, and the disfavored offered me a chance to use my skills to bring peace. Otherwise, I'd wound up some brigand or an enforcer to a crooked merchant. Barrick taps his scabbard, looking away in thought. You think Ash and his legion bring peace? That's cute. But it doesn't hold water from where I'm standing, big guy. I've seen them spill as much blood as any chorus game. You've clearly been too busy sacking villages and stealing crops to notice how a proper army conducts a war. We sow order, not discord. Verse has a point. The disfavored could reconsider their approach. Perhaps you need a few lessons in military strategy then. Battles can be won by hurling troops into the furnace, but war is a labor of love. The disfavored needed recruits in anticipation of the march south. They offered to care for my mother and brother as long as I stayed with the Legion, which is a better guarantee than you'll find anywhere else. I was an elite fighter as far as most were concerned, though still green by disfavored standards. Luckily for everyone, my skills improved under the Iron Marshal's rigorous training. Tell me about your name. Barrick is a shortening of my northern surname, which has been passed down through the generations since Graven Ash assembled his army. I go by it because I wear it with pride. The proper form is Barraconan. Beyond its age and association with the General's Legion, the name of Barraconan has no great titles or associations. I hold no claim to a great house or legacy, save for the disfavored. They are all the kin I need. What's the story with your armor?
It is a symbol of Kairos' will, one that I am not likely to forget. I found this armor. Perhaps it would be better to say that it found me during the Edict of Storms.
It's so odd how they decide what lines do and do not warrant voice acting. This is giving me Pillars of Eternity 1 vibes. And that's the same thing where voice acting would just kind of come in randomly. On being spoiled on Dragon's Plague. Oh, yeah, well, that's different. Nobody's playing Dragon's Dogma 2 for the story. So Jay never got to elaborate on the Beastmen and their connection to Kairos. Yeah, the Beastmen, I remember them not being well developed. And I remember the Beastmen party member, her being cool, but also not completely developed. So, is not one you want to kind of construct your team around. Prodigal Dog, what's going on? After watching yesterday, I had to start a new game. That's awesome. Hope you enjoy the playthrough, dude. They cut a scene like that. It's on the wiki. They cut the sex scene with Ebb. What? You could have a romance with Ebb? That's kind of crazy. What happened during the Edict of Storms? When we heard that Kairos would proclaim the edict, we rushed into the field to battle the forces of Stalwart. I was shoulder to shoulder with some of the Legion's most decorated veterans, and my pride blinded me to the danger. Our march was a hasty one. A cohort of disfavored soldiers vanished in the second year of the war, among them the daughter of Graven Ash. After a long silence, we learned that she was held in the fortress of Sentinel Stand. Go on. As we surrounded the citadel, I heard the opening peals of thunder, as did the scout I was busy trying to kill. Then the winds hit like an avalanche. Many of us begged Kairos for deliverance. What else were we to do? The winds knocked the legs of our offensive out from under us. All the decorated soldiers I brought to the battle were swept up and dashed to pieces, their armor and bodies mixing with the dirt of a tornado that spun in maddening revolutions. A piece of the citadel wall broke off and nearly crushed my skull. I only remember a few scattered moments from the storm, like the flying bits of bronze and iron cutting my flesh, the severed limbs of fallen soldiers tumbling through the air. Eventually I woke up, thinking myself trapped under rubble. When I rose and felt like I was buckling under my own weight, that's when I realized I was stuck, right and truly stuck, inside this heap of scrap. What happened to Ash's daughter after the edict hit? She was trapped behind the walls of Sentinel Stand, imprisoned by Kairos' storm as well as the fortress itself. 1,000 soldiers standing shoulder to shoulder could not have endured those winds to rescue her. How did you survive when everyone fell? That is a mystery to me as well. Did Kairos hear my plea for mercy? Did this heap of scrap metal protect me, imprison me, punish me? He rubs the back of his helmet with his gauntlet hand, a pantomime of a gesture his armor prohibits. I don't have enough fingers or toes to count the possible reasons, so I try to not dwell on them. You're genuinely stuck in there. Haven't tried taking it off? I made attempts in the past. Even had one of the beast haulers pull on the helmet while another pulled on my boots. The men in the phalanx have taken great pleasure in trying to find ways to liberate me. In time, I grew wary of the struggle. Sometimes I feared that removing the armor would be to question Kairos' judgment and risk a more odious curse. Looks like pretty solid protection. That would be an understatement, if only it protected me from foolish questions. Beric regards you in such a way that you can tell he's rolling his eyes. A forlorn sigh escapes his helmet. I was super sure they cut a romance with Siren. When you got her into good side, I'm 1,000% sure she was going to jump my bones, but it didn't happen. She was super passionate. I don't think I've ever been able to have her regularly in my squad, so I'm hoping I'll be able to do it here. Just got done watching the new Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal. I heard it was terrible. How was it, in your opinion? It isn't a romance. It's a random encounter event. And then you can eat after failing a lore check, an aphrodisiac, and she takes charge of the situation. Sarah says she's 15, and she's lying about that. Who knows? One step forward on one thing, one step back, working through it. Doing a rebel playthrough made Berg pretty mad, though. Think he's gonna leave me. I don't think party members leave you in this game, but I could be wrong. Because if so, he's definitely gonna leave me too. Do you handle your own repairs? I try to keep the surface oiled to slow the spreading rust, and I bend the plates from time to time, but repairs, maintenance, no. If you have any ideas of how to better maintain this situation, I'm open to discussing them. Back to my questions. As with all disfavored, I assume you grew up in the Northern Empire? That's right. I grew up in Battle's Rest, then trained at Fort Resolution before they marched me out to support the second cohort. I hope to spend my rusting years in Fredden Shores, unless, of course, I die in glorious battle, which would be preferable. My mother is good with the soil, my father with rings. He spends much of his time away on one merchant's errand or another. Still, I'm lucky to say they're both alive. Let us speak of something else. Would you like to discuss removing your armor? He looks at you for a very long time. His expression is unreadable as ever.
Though we are encouraged to couple and mate within the Legion,
Wow.
I don't consider you one of my cohorts. I think I'll decline.
I wasn't talking about sex, Beric.
You weren't? Forgive me. It's been some time since anyone made an advance, and I am long out of practice, as you can see.
He knocks on his iron codpiece with a resounding clang. Oh, Siren is voiced by someone for Persona 4? Oh, nice. Found it to be pretty good. It doesn't have the same 80s old movie charm as the original Raw House, but it's fine. Nice, okay. I might have to check it out. I actually like Jake Gyllenhaal. Isn't he the one who was in the movie about, what were they, chasing ambulances or something like that? Something crazy? And he was working with this news station to give him footage? I remember really enjoying that. Lucky, what's going on? Fatebiter is just a base title. This is true. I like being called that. It's pretty funny to me too. Okay, nice. I got Barrick to swear fealty to me, the same as Eb. Nice. Okay. This dude is like an undead Gregor Clegane. That's a pretty perfect comparison, to be honest with you. I know the feeling, Barrick. Boy, her story was sad, but she effed herself really hard. You're talking about Seren? I don't remember any of her story at all, so I'll have to see after we meet her. Nightcrawler. Yep, that was the name of the movie. I really enjoyed Nightcrawler. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was incredible. Super, super creepy, but absolutely incredible in that role. I really enjoyed it. Southpaw was Jake's best movie. I never saw Southpaw, but he plays a boxer in that, right? You weren't, forgive me. It's been a long time since any. Oh,
Suffice it to say, my armor and I will not be separated for the time being. When the war is over, perhaps Tunon will lend me one of his forge bound. Until then, here I remain. My armor saved me from the destruction of Stalwart, where thousands of others lost their lives. So you can see why I continue to wear it. For the time being, we will not be separated.
Are you comfortable in there? I have somehow developed enough calluses that I can sleep at night, but I wouldn't call that comfort, would you? This is my armor. It has everything it needs and more. Purpose, meaning, strength. If it were comfortable, that would only take away from its other qualities. I don't know about that, bro. you do need to sleep. Do you even want it removed? I would not speak of this now, Fatebinder. Please, consider the topic closed. Perhaps I didn't make myself clear. We are discussing it now. You certainly know how to throw your authority around when you need to. That is your right as Fatebinder of Tunin, but very well, if you insist. Barrick rises to his full height and regards you with impressive coldness. Be sure to tell the Fatebinder everything, you ironclad heap. Wouldn't want a negative report sent to your beloved general, would you? You will be silent, Barrick hisses, the sound like steam escaping between his plates. Challenges his betters and yells at women. Be sure to include that in your report, Fatebinder. Verse turns to you, wearing a smug smile. Barrick says nothing for a time, his chest rising and falling in erratic breaths that he struggles to equalize. Then he releases a deep exhaltation and continues. I don't need to tell you that this suit of junk is a literal pain in my ass, half broken, smelling of a midden, and perpetually jabbing my side with some Kairos be damned caltrip. These dusty plates may not be up to standard, but they served the disfavored well enough on the battlefield, if only to intimidate the enemy. Better for me to endure this condition than to shirk an advantage. Considering that I wore this as I marched across the bones of Stalwart that was, my burden growing heavier with each step, I have no desire to leave it behind. It's a lesson, a reminder, and yes, a prison. But all of those things make it something more. These plates have something of me in them. They are as wicked as a bramble patch, as stubborn as a fortress, and hopelessly flawed. At present, removing my armor is not an option. If that ever changes, I suspect that the tiers will tremble with the impact of my collapsing fortification. What a day that will be. Nice. They can leave depending on who you side with, but you can bully them into staying with enough fear points or dialogue checks. Okay, nice. Yeah, I plan to keep them all around. Siren, yeah, she tried to save everyone through her powers and almost succeeded. Oh, really? She's basically Xavier from X-Men, but with song. Nice. Okay, I'm looking forward to checking that out. So the last I begged Babe, how bad he must smell. He has to smell awful. Has to, without question. She's a hybrid. She sings and uses magic. Yep. Xavier Snake. Hang on from. I do like how much respect Tunin gets from everyone. Yeah, it makes you look forward to finally meeting him. And then when you do meet him, he doesn't disappoint at all. I love his voice. He said he's having issues with the metal rusting. That dude's skin hasn't felt water in maybe years. How has Beric not died from infections caused by his armor constantly opening up wounds on his body? This is an excellent question. This is other than the Paul brothers. Talk to Verse about Beric when you get the chance. Okay, we'll do, Shrimrugal. When we get through with this conversation, I'll talk to her again. What does Graven Ash think of your predicament? I suspect that he doesn't. Not to besmirch the great general. He has larger matters to consider than any one soldier's woes. His shrug sends a puff of debris clattering to the ground. How long do you think it could last? The armor hasn't shown any signs of weakening, and my maintenance regimen is all that keeps it from rusting solid. Were I to stop applying oil and give it into entropy, this shell would harden to a degree that no forge master has ever seen. I think it could very well stand for as long as the old walls, with my skeleton peering out from the depths, and someday, not even that. Now isn't that a cheery thought? Tell me about what you can and can't do. I can strike fear into the hearts of our enemies and protect a shield wall with my very body. What more do I need? How do you vacate your bowels? Let us say I manage, and manage poorly. The parts of this misbegotten thing I can reach are in better repair than the ones I can't. How do you take pleasure from life? Are we actually talking about this, Fatebinder? Do you have nothing better to do than wonder how I access my nether regions for a frenzied bout of self-interest? I don't want to hear this. How do I even run far enough to avoid it? Verse plugs her ears and winces against the inevitable. Well, I can, and not from lack of trying. My works are inaccessible from the outside, and much as I've tried to worm my arm out of this sleeve of iron, I would only succeed in dislocating my shoulder. If you ever think me frustrated or disagreeable, just imagine what I've dealt with since the 3rd year of the conquest, or more accurately, what I haven't dealt with. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. How do you fare in water? Better to ask, how do I sink? The answer is quickly. Water passes my lips easily enough, though I take great care to keep it from anywhere else. Back to my other questions. Let's talk of something else. Discuss immediate concerns. What do you think of our circumstances? The edict left little room for confusion. A representative of the Overlord must breach Ascension Hall before Kairos' Day of Swords, and must assume death is the price of failure. We should assist the disfavored in their siege preparations, as only the Legion should take the Wells fortified citadel. I wouldn't wager a wooden ring on the Scarlet Chorus impressing anyone but the vultures. What are your thoughts on me and my deeds? Any reservations I have aside, your military record speaks for itself. You are Tunin's fate binder, and my opinions on the matter don't come into one way or another. What do you think of our travel companions? I am more accustomed to traveling in the company of soldiers, so I am out of practice judging the worth of civilians and miscreants. If you had anyone particular in mind, I will give them some thought. What do you think of Verse? I tried not to. She is a force of chaos, an agent of the voices of Narat. Taking her into our confidence can only lead to ruin. And yet she is a capable fighter. For the time being, I am confident that you can trust her to serve your interests and rely on her skills on the battlefield. She may even offer some useful perspective on the war. Farewell. Awesome. Yeah, let's go. Damn it. Been ages since I was supposed to reinstall Tyranny. Only play what? What's going on, Nemesis? Yeah, Tyranny is well worth playing for sure. Raven as protect. Is the Empire shambles? Not quite yet, but we're getting there. What's going on, Kunchu? Elric, what's up, dude? My brother, would you recommend I max Mage first, then goes to Sorcerer on Dogma 2? Also, which team combo was the best for a 1 max Mage? So, I don't recommend maxing Mage. If I remember correctly, its final augment wasn't really worth it. So, I don't remember, though. Mage has 1 augment, I think, that's helpful being a sorcerer. So you should get a high enough level where you can get that one and then switch over to sorcerer. I would also recommend getting a few levels in Archer, because I think that's the one that has a augment that increases your max stamina. Sorcerer depends heavily on stamina to cast spells, so that really helps you. And early game, you might want to consider getting a couple of levels in Warrior. Its first augments or increases your health. It actually adds 200 health. If I remember correctly, when I stopped playing the game, my sorcerer was around 800 health. So obviously another 200 is a significant amount. And so all that together, it might definitely help you. Oh, I also think Warrior might have something about being good at knocking people down. Something like that. So you might want to get that as well. The man on the seats from his own brain. Poor side. Looks like huge, also standalone expansion for Pillars of Eternity 1. Is the combat the same? The combat is similar but different. These are dreadful main characters. Base servant of order versus virgin, chaotic verse. Why do you say mages are dreadful main characters? I mean, I guess it could be dreadful if you make them pure support, but you don't have to. We just got back into Warframe. I forgot how cool the game was. What's Warframe? All right. Someone said, talk to
At your
Verse.
service,
So talk to
Fatebind.
her.
What do you need?
What do you need? And she has nothing regarding Barry.
Until then?
So maybe we have to wait a while before that dialogue option comes up. All right, now. Hold on. Let me see. Yep, I can learn this. Excellent. And then look at all this. And that needs to be sold. Wait. So, here, hold on. What's this? +1 armor. This is heavy armor. So, neither one of us. So, we can sell the heavy armor, Oh, this is light armor. We're going to start with you. You need light armor more. This is both common, crush, fire. This got some pierce, +1 armor, +2 pierce, +2, 3, +5% deflection. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say she would benefit from that, even though I'm sure she doesn't like having to wear. Wait, what? This is stone shield. Okay, but still, only thing this does more is give her a little bit of fire deflection and same amount of recovery. So yeah, that's better. Just flat out better. How's this bow? Warren short bow, so more damage per second and more accuracy. Where are weapons? There we go. Yep, we'll put that there. And then armor. This is light armor. More deflection. So how do you feel about it? You don't like it, so he'll take it. Yep, ceremonial gloves. And then this is heavy armor, so we can sell that. And we're good. Fury, what's up, man? How are you? Warframe is a free-to-play online loot 'em up with Space Ninjas. Ah, okay. Not the type of game I usually play. Space Ninjas jump around at the speed of light and kill aliens. Warframe is pretty cool. I prefer Destiny, but the gameplay is different enough. I'll play both of them. Okay, nice. Played Pillars of 1 and enjoyed it, but gonna make time and made officially start my Pillars of Eternity 2 playthrough. Really looking forward to it. Yeah, I've decided it's time to finally get into Pillars of Eternity 2 content. So I'm working on a review for the game right now. Definitely excited for Avowed. Whoops. Okay, yeah, all that stuff I want to get rid of anyway. Get rid of that. And was there anything else? No. Oh, yep. Want to get rid of that. And then you, Heroes Insignia. What does this do again? Immunity to frightened and terrified. You know what? I kind of feel like I should just get this off GP. Actually, I don't even have I don't have enough money for this anyway. So you know what? Trade all this, get 33. Yeah, so I don't have enough money for that. So fine. We'll let that go. What I would like though, let's see, wares. I want, is this a two-hander? There's no bronze hammer is a one-hander. Oh, here we go. Great axe. I want a two-hander. What is he holding right now? He's doing sword and board, right? Yeah, I don't want you to do sword and board. You must unequip. Yes. Can I? It won't let me unequip from this menu. That's fine. No. Two-handed. Trade. Excellent. Standing up in gaming, that's awesome, man. Yeah. Can't be sitting down all the time. I'm super busy. I love the classic knight look, so I'm always rolling fighter or paladin. I can't argue with that. I'm completely opposite. It's wizards and ciphers for me. I usually prefer rogues, to be honest with you, because the biggest pet peeve in a game for me is when I get to a chest that I cannot open. I hate when that happens. You know what? Actually, I should leave this on here just in case this goes poorly. But I would like him to use a two-handed. So usually I end up picking a class that helps to ensure I'm always able to open any chest or locked door that I come across. Is there anything like back over here? No. And so, in a lot of games, I pick rogue, but in games such as Pillars of Eternity, where you get someone with lockpicking early enough that you don't necessarily have to pick rogue, then it opens up a little bit more what I decide to do. Right on, Cheese Whiz. If you ever need a take, let me know. Slander, could I give Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 a try and enjoy it? If I don't read the story, I have bad ADHD and reading is very difficult for me, so I just want to know if I can still enjoy them. Pillars of Eternity 2 is almost completely voice acted, so you don't have to worry about reading at all. So, and frankly, you could skip Pillars of Eternity 1 if you wanted to. You could go straight into 2. It gives you a little bit of a recap towards the beginning, and it gives you world states so that you can import in a certain game save. You can just move forward. Obviously, you'll get more references and a little bit more out of the experience if you play the first one, but it's not required at all. Eating my dinner of mashed potatoes and roast potatoes. It seems like there's to be some vegetables or something on that about a bit. I'll be more excited about Avowed if it wasn't first person. Yeah, a lot to be hesitant about, but hopefully it'll turn out good. Oh, is it now? That'll be much easier. Yep. Appreciate that, bro. I was named after Bon Jovi. Oh, nice. I never played Rogue in Pillars of Eternity 1 because Devil Karak was always on my team, and I wanted to play a wizard because they're cool as that. I never played Rogue in the Pillars games. Also, now that I think about it, because lockpicking isn't tied to Rogue. You can play any class and have high mechanics, and so that's kind of what I did. Yeah, we're gonna increase might. Two-handed. So he's got great two-handed. Well, solid two-handed rather. And that's about it. What is this? Overlord's Decree. So +1 resolve, no problem. Okay, he has Punisher. Strike a single enemy, dealing significantly increased damage if the target is engaging Barrack. Okay. Increases one-handed, two-handed melee damage. Gains a chance to attack enemies as they engage you. Intimidating force. Have the resolve reduced? No, I'm not interested in that. So, let's see. Engagement attack. That's engagement 2. Increase the chance for Barrack's engagement attacks to occur. So, gain it. Also, this is like a small chance. Further increase the chance for his attack to occur. Okay. Doesn't he have something that gives him more engagement slots? Pursuit. Allows Barrack to engage an additional enemy. Further increases the number of enemies you can engage. Okay. So that's what I do. Okay. So I like it. I like that. And then issue a mocking invitation, challenging enemies to attack Barrack. I don't like. I would prefer to avoid that, but Might end up having to take it so that I can get some of these other things. Okay, is what it is. I have problems reading, but listening to that stuff is completely fine. Nice. Okay, then yeah, Pillars of Eternity 2 should work out very well for you. Who's your favorite companion, Pillars of Eternity 2? Mine is Seraphim. I really like the assassin chick. She's fun. And, of course, I really like Eder. Potatoes are a vegetable. With a huge amount of starch. You need some greens, like some broccoli, some string beans. Is Druid and Monk a good multi-class in Pillars of Eternity 2? I don't think there's any bad multi-class options in Pillars of Eternity 2, honestly. But yeah, you can go that route. The companions are really well done in Pillars of Eternity 2. They are, but I think that's comparison to games in general. I find them weaker than the Pillars of Eternity 1 squad. Let me read. Some people out to judge me. Nah, we don't judge people over here, man. It's all good. We're judging you, but silently. Abandoned me. I like BG3 for that. Anyone with dexterity focus on 2 items can be your lock picker. Exactly. I like the flexibility. And it's something is a voice. Downward better be Kotor levels of Rhino. I'm gonna keep it moving. I understand completely. All right, that's the journal. What's this? Oh, this is a reputation house. Barrack. Oh, Barrack. He almost completely fears me. Also, I have a combo ability with him. This is once per rest. Huh. I didn't realize that. So wait, hers is, oh, this is once per rest as well. Oh, okay. Interesting. A cool, powerful attack that traps nearby enemies in twisted spires of rock, petrifying them for a short time. Well, isn't that joyous? Scarlet Chorus. This favorite, I don't have enough. Interesting. Once per combat, game advantage, absorbs your shield for a short time if you fall low to health. Sever the bond between Grave and Ash and any disfavor in the target area, preventing them from receiving the benefits of Ash's Aegis. Interesting. 5% hit precision on targets below 35% health. Oh, and it's passive. That's nice. Immobilize and terrify enemies within a cone. And then, all right, and that's it for that. Oh, now I have another core, and now I have Sigil of Frost. Okay. Okay. You could do that. Do this if you wanted to. Area of the Fat. Yeah, okay. We're not going to mess with that right now. I think we're finally ready to move on and get some things done. But I think all we're doing, actually, is just going to where the Scarlet Chorus is. So this is where I was, Edrian Ruins, and yet, ooh, we got to go all the way to Northern Clearing. But first we'll go to your path is blocked by a small group of Vendrian Guard. You can go no farther until you deal with them. I have never played any of the XCOM games. Ooh. Hello.
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
A woman's voice booms from atop a nearby outcropping. Flashes of aquamarine body paint peek out from under her loose-fitting traveler's garb, and her outfit is festooned in braids and knots of sailor's line. Flanked on either side by warriors dressed in Vendrian Guard regalia, the woman leans on an elaborate bladed staff pulsing with arcane energy. A swath of blue fabric rests draped over her arm.
Tunon sends us the Queenslayer. The old judge has a sense of humor, I'll give him that.
Indeed, he does. No problems reading messages, but long-form story stuff has me just really bored. There's always ways to keep it around these days. Yeah, I don't know why I have more patience for it, but it's just natural to me. Reading is for people who have the time. Who has the time? Skimming is the way to go. Thank you, Slam, for reading to us. It's all good, Joshua. It's my pleasure. That new Warhammer game is like XCOM. It recently released on console. I forgot its name. What game are you referring to? Games, be it XCOM, Crusade, King, Stellaris, or Total War. So wait, XCOM is considered a strategy game like Crusader Kings, where because Crusader Kings doesn't have a real story, right? It's like basically goes on forever and ever. Is XCOM the same way? Yeah, some players skip dialogue, boss page. Oh, it's talking about Rogue Trader? Oh, is Rogue Trader like XCOM? Missing at 99% hurts the soul on multiple levels. Okay. Oh, Chaos Gate. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Type games. All right.
Did the voices of Nuroth send you to gather my head and complete his collection? If so, we'll have to save our tussle for another time. Today I have business. Vengeance can wait. In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
The woman bows deeply, lowering her head in a practiced display of etiquette. The warriors by her remain in a ready stance, their nerves clearly on edge. You have me at a disadvantage.
I am Ebb of the School of Tides, and today I speak on behalf of the Vendrian Guard.
I advise caution, Fatebinder. Only thing more dangerous than a tearsman is an educated one.
Meta articulations groan as he tries to subtly move his hand toward his blade. Then don't anger her.
As is our custom, we are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos's way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
Tarkus Deimos is with the chorus now.
Then if we see him again, it will have to be as enemies.
She looks to the warriors to either side of her, shaking her head.
If I may make one more inquiry, what of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
Another dead Oathbreaker. Whoever you will ask about next, I assure you, nothing can be done.
My apologies, Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start. I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough.
I have some questions for you.
We shouldn't be socializing with Oathbreakers.
I will entertain them as best I can. After all, understanding is the only hope we have. What is it you wish to know?
What is Heroes of Might and Magic the same as Civ? Not sure. It's a turn-based tactic sci-fi game. It's called Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate. Oh, okay, yeah, I bought that, but I haven't played it yet. It's a tactical turn-based game as opposed to Crusader Kings' grand strategy. Okay, but it does have a story, albeit not a spectacular one, but enough to facilitate the gameplay. Got you. Download Puzzle 32, so I'll update how I feel about it. Okay, sounds good, Eric. Enjoy your playthrough. There's a lot of dialogue in this game. Yeah, it's weird. It feels like it front loads a lot of dialogue as well. Like, I feel like I went through all the dialogue threads for my two companions right up front. So I get the feeling I might talk to them very, very little for the rest of the game. Is Spells of Eternity 2 going to be for console? It's already out on console. Nope, haven't had time to just sit and listen to music yet, 3. Are you a PC is too expensive. I understand. Why do you resist Kairos? What are you trying to say?
I grew up without my knee bent to Kairos, and if I'm going to bow to someone, let it be another Tearsman. We've ruled ourselves just fine for centuries, so we'll give our lives so that our sons and daughters might rule themselves.
The younger realms were beset with constant battle. You prefer that to Kairos' order?
You make conflict sound like a bad thing. Yes, the younger realms saw frequent battles, but it was never this wholesale slaughter like we've seen of late. No Tearsman ever cast an edict on the soil, or forced prisoners to kill each other, or butchered beastmen tribes.
Only your daughters are really free than Tears. Why fight against Kairos' equality?
There's freedom, then there's trusting idiots with power. Give a man 1,000,000 marauders, he'll lose sleep worrying over his neighbor's 1,000. I prefer my realms ruled by the braver sex. For centuries, we've left the lands to the women and the seas to the men. And we did plenty fine until Kairos came around.
What makes you think you have a chance?
Oh, we don't. Those who believed Kairos could be stopped all died years ago, in the first wave of fighting. It's not about the hope of victory. It's about the hope of inspiring others. It is very likely we will fall here in Vendrian's Well. But perhaps others will arise elsewhere.
But a mage like you would not be the subject of such superstition and fear under Kairos' reign.
I doubt life is any better sworn to some mad Archon. I'd rather stand with my fellow Tearsmen. Or, I suppose, stand immediately behind them in the event of an attack.
At that remark, the soldiers flanking her exchange shocked looks. Ebb turns her focus to her compatriots.
Yeah, you heard me. Way things were years back, you'd all be calling me a water witch and conspiring to sell me out to the nearest sage. Just because I'm helping you stop Kairos doesn't mean I've forgotten the hospitality of ages past.
Nice.
And people wonder why the Tearsmen could never unite in time to fight back. It's refreshing to see that some things never change.
It's interesting that considering all these conversations we've been through that had very little voice acting, this seems to be fully voice acted by not only Ebb, but also your companions when they speak. Let me ask something else. How did you and your friends overthrow the garrison?
I would joke that the voices of Nerat left the gate unlatched, but dozens of warriors lost their lives taking the citadel. There was no secret to it. We simply attacked with speed and certainty at a time when the Archons were elsewhere in the tiers. The Scarlet Chorus had a rout, and what few disfavored soldiers were present made an impressive showing. But they were surrounded and overwhelmed once the chorus fled.
Does this game actually give any insight into Kairos? Because so far he's been portrayed more as a force of nature rather than a man. It's really cool, but I'm curious if we ever peek behind the curtain. They reveal like some details regarding who Kairos is, but as far as I know, you never meet Kairos in this game, and so it's not like you ever get the full picture, but you do peel back some layers over the course of the adventure. Mythical Lofi. People still want to try the Fate Binder. Who's in charge of this insurrection?
Listen to you. Thinking just like the Overlord wants you to think. There always has to be a person in charge or things don't make sense. Well, we don't answer to anyone. We are each of us sons and daughters of the Tiers, and take this task upon ourselves freely. But Captain Tarkus Ari, former Falksman of Queen Vendrian Alanta, is the voice we trust when we seek unanimity.
I assume Tarkus Ari and Tarkus Demos are relations.
Yes. Deimos was Ari's brother. We were certain he was dead, but the captain takes family seriously. So I volunteered to find some answers. And now here we are.
Were there prisoner swaps in the past?
That is our way, Binder. Here in the south, only thugs and bandits kill prisoners. The younger realms may be guilty of constant fighting, but we never slay each other when the battle's long over. We're not about to change that now. As a rule, Kairos' forces haven't been keen on swapping prisoners. But I know our disfavored prisoners aren't prisoners anymore. I just assumed they were swapped for some of our own.
That's all.
Fair enough. But now a question for you. The Edict. I can feel its magic coursing through the air. Everyone can. But those of us enlightened to the currents of magic feel it most. The wording of the Edict. What was it?
Kairos' forces must take Ascension Hall by the Day of Swords, or all in the valley will perish.
In the name of the vaunted North, the will of Kairos should be delivered with blade and hammer, not to the ears of oathbreakers and compromisers.
Oh, interesting. You didn't gain fear with Barrick, you lost loyalty. So that's cool. I guess you can gain loyalty or fear, but you could also lose loyalty or fear. That's a really nice system, actually. There's some layers and complexity to this. Man, I wish you made an order disfavored character for this playthrough. They seem so fascinating. Yeah, there's a lot of fascinating layers to the lore, for sure. You know, this game setting for some reason reminds me of an RPG game called Silver Realms Empire. The Resistance Group versus them. Interesting. I've never heard of Silver Realm. Long live the Overlord.
Curious. You did say all in the valley. So the edict will affect Kairos' forces? This is most unexpected.
Our eyes widen at your words. Correct.
That is most troubling. So either the soldiers come to destroy and kill us, or the edict does the work. I suppose we should be so honored the Overlord is taking no chances on us. I've another question for you, if you will entertain it.
Are we really standing here and chatting with Oathbreakers? It's hard to watch. Like cuddling a goat you're going to kill for dinner.
Ask your question, Eb. What I also like about the portraits is that they change based upon the armor the character is wearing. So hopefully when we get late game and she has some of the high level gear, this is going to look really, really cool. Ask your questions, Eb.
When I was young, my parents told me the Tears were special, and the Overlord's edicts and armies could never touch us. Seems I've been told a hefty sum of lies. So answer this honestly for me, please. Is it true that Tunon's Fatebinders can smell truth from falsehood?
Lie. That's true. Falsehood on parchment is an especially rank smell to endure.
Curious. Then I would recommend against reading the work of the sages. You'd no doubt find it an offense to the senses. And Kairos' edicts. I have heard the sages speak at length that some of the edicts elsewhere in the world have been broken. How is this?
Lore. It varies based on the wording of the proclamation. If Kairos provides a clause allowing the edict to end, that clause can be satisfied.
Ah, so some edicts are forever. The rest are, as long as Kairos has in mind? Needless to say, Kairos' magic is unlike anything we've seen in any Archon.
Joker finds the conversation entertaining. That's why he's entertaining her. He wants to see if her mind reveals secrets that he hadn't really thought of.
You'll forgive, I hope, the questions. The Overlord and his Archons used to be things of legend. Now they're everyday maladies, and I'm eager to separate the truth from the lies I've been told by house and guild. In accordance to our most ancient customs, let us depart in honorable accord. May peace find you, Fatebinder.
She bows deeply, pounding her staff on the ground twice before turning to leave. Has a 58% positive review. That's crazy. I just received a missive. How do I get into? Is this it? Scroll. Oh yeah. Scroll. Wait. How do I look at my missive? Oh, missive. Oh, this is the way it goes. Okay. It went down from 63%. Is the in-game that bad? It seems like people are strongly divided. Some say it's absolutely incredible, and others say it's absolutely dog shit. It's been an entertaining conversation to watch on our Discord. And I'm slowly paying it. Can you recruit Ebb? You can, and hopefully we will. Joker. Word has reached this court that you have issued the Overlord's edict to the Archons of War and Secrets. Know that we understand fully the weight of this burden and appreciate the loyalty you show in this declaration. Provided you survive this span, your service will be duly recognized. As you navigate the idiosyncrasies and mutual antipathy of our Overlord's War Masters, remember that Kairos watches all with interest. Those who distinguish themselves, whether Fatebinder or Archon, have the opportunity to rise in the Overlord's esteem. Even now, the Northern Courts whisper that the more successful of the two Archons will be granted rule over the whole of the peninsula. Similarly, your fortunes rest upon the decisions you make. Choose wisely. Tunin the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. Favor. It does not say how to gain favor. It does not say what causes wrath. Oh, I don't know. Request clarification or thank him for the advice. Request clarification. Archon Tunin. Am I to understand that the Edict of Execution applies equally to all within the Valley of Vendrin's Well, Tearsmen, and Servant of Kairos alike? Is the Overlord truly willing to sacrifice both the Archon of War and the Archon of Secrets, their armies, the farmers and herdsmen of the region, and a faint binder of no small skill for the sake of killing a handful of insurgents occupying a crumbling ruin? Is it not said that the Overlord has no desire to rule over a wasteland? Or I could thank him. Let me express my deep appreciation for few in the Empire of the honor of treating with archons. If you are still reading the empowering words of the Overlord, I endeavor always to emulate your exemplary foresight and judgment. No. Joke is not sending that. Request clarification. Here, we're going to send request clarification and see whether or not it causes wrath. That might be the wrong decision, but whatever. Inspired like Kairos and Lee with mythical. I mean, it's obviously not giving you a damn. That's the same as FIFA. Checking again another night. Yep, take care, kid. Have a good one. They didn't elaborate on this, though, sadly. Kitty gay gambling sim. All right. Ooh.
Just point me in the right direction.
And that's just the route, okay? You can make out the faintest outline of a soldier's arm in the bottom of this pond, a victim of the previous battle in this area. Well, isn't that unfortunate? The grasslands of the tier stretch far throughout the land. Much of it remains uninhabited and unclaimed by any faction.
No dice. No dice.
Oh, what's this? Missives are short messages carried by birds between distant parts of Kairos Empire. No problem. Once a companion joins your party, you can talk to them at any time by selecting the portrait. Companions will also interject their opinions into conversations. Yep, I'm aware of all that. Oh, cool. Now let's leave. 5 minutes. Let's go. So it seems like he'd appreciate a measured and clarifying question or two. That's what I'm thinking about it, man. That's why I was like, you know, we're going to go ahead and take a chance and find out. Find out how open he is to questions. Ooh, you know what? Let me go ahead and save before we get into here. What's that? A small bottle. The thick red ink inside this bottle is used by blood chanters to tattoo sigils on their body. The ink doesn't have much practical use. It could be sold to a merchant. Okay, cool. Clarify won't sneak this one. No, it could be. It could be. You can kind of take it either way. Take another step and I'll pin your foot to the dirt. Random question. Besides card games, have you tried any wargaming? What does that mean, wargaming? Or at least undermining his authority? Could be. We'll see. It proves everything. The warrior slams his fist together in a resounding clap. Like, for instance, whether you're fit to lead that flock of children. Behind her, the members of her gang posture with weapons held at the ready. Did you not hear the news of the edict? This is a foolish distraction. We ought to be saving our fight for the enemy. The chorus warrior looks to his gang, giving them a quick nod. What's the problem here? No problem here, Lord Binder. She tosses her blade in the air, catching it with a smile on the way down. Captain Fuckwit here seems he's about to balk from this challenge. Thinks just because he used to run a ship, he's qualified to run a game. She spits on the ground, looking up with a scowl. So I'm calling him out, because the way I see it, the warriors ought to follow me, not this new blood. Captain Fuckwit was my father. Fuckwit will do just fine. That's awesome. The warrior points at the opposing gang. If we have to prove our strength, we'll do so happily. But I'll have your hands and feet removed and the rest of you kept for my own use. Damn. Damn. Allow me to join you. Wait, do I want to... Care to wager on this fight? I could use a few rings. Why not? Might as well win a string as I gut her and take her gang. He spits a wad of blackish vagrant's chaw toward Quiet Shiv's feet. A sharp, vicious grin cuts across her face. You're welcome to try. Mine bets on Shivershank. 5 bronze rings. The soldier offers a quick, solemn nod. Come on, who of you will be the first to meet my blade? The gang leader tosses her knife from one hand to the next. Ooh. Uh-oh, I think he lost. Oh, that's just regular old horde dude. Oh, they all lost. Oh, well. Still a good bloodbath. Ooh, verse. Up to level 3, are you? Good girl. It was a private mission, so I feel like it would be fine. It doesn't really undermine his authority since no one else sees it. Good point. We'll see. Things like Warhammer or Battletech count as war games. I mean, of course, I played Warhammer Rogue Trader, but as far as like playing it with the figurines that you paint, no, I've never done that before. And I've never played Battletech. It'll be stuff like Warhammer, Warlord, even historic. Models painting them, rolling dice. You get the idea. Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with those type of games. All right, give me 1 second. I need to use the bathroom real quick. All right. One of is Mech Warrior or Battletech. Yeah, I never played Mech Warrior either. Or like the Underworld card game. Never played that. You know, the one with the cards and push fit models. Plus, I would love to see some card games on here. So, in fact, Ball Space, you were the one talking about potentially doing Magic the Gathering. I'd absolutely be down for that. Absolutely. All right. Sorry, give me 1 second. For whatever reason, this table doesn't just go straight down the way it's supposed to. All right. The guard places her hands by her belt as you approach, gripping the hilt of a blade. Past this point is chorus territory. You don't look like someone's conscript. You sure you're in the right place? I'm definitely in the right place. I am Joker, Fate Binder of Tunnan. I am here to help vanquish the Oathbreakers. You know, I think I was told to expect somebody, but you seem too ugly to be him. Her lips crumple into a smirk. Why exactly should I let you in? Wow, playing games with a Fate Binder. You certainly like playing Russian roulette. I think Hearthstone, really anything. Okay. Yeah, maybe stick to Matt. Never seen a game before. Only Hearthstone. Are they the same? Or do people still play Hearthstone? That game's been around for like 20, 30 years, right? Oh, y'all guys, no offense, but I'm 22. I don't have a shitting clue what card games or war games models. I'm 39, get fool. Yep, there's a tabletop simulator in Steam that does it pretty well. No, to not be celebrating my birthday anymore. What do I want for our Urban Shadows campaigns? Criminal Mastermind or Brute Fort? Criminal Mastermind. And more importantly, what's this hulking ton of iron doing here? The guard gestures at Barrick with a sneer. The disfavored thought I needed a minder, and I didn't want to hurt his feelings. Berate me if you must earn the favor of the reeking mob, but we'd be better served not wasting our time appealing to every lackey in camp. Try taking off your helmet if you want to pout. Go on, we'll wait. Fine, just come on in. I'm sure the Fury will gut you if you're really a problem. The guard half-heartedly waves you in as she nods to verse. A rotting body bearing Scarlet Core's war paint is skewered upon a wooden pike. That's unfortunate. What is this? Read a scroll. Yep, don't mind if I do. The binder of Tunin arrives. Squealing with teenager's timber, the Fifth Eye's voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel in need of a trim. And we just finished having a bit of sport with some captives, but worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Dressed in the bronze-red regalia of the Crimson Spears, the Fifth Eye beckons you to stand close, wagging a blood-spattered glove. Now that you have issued the edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Chirps of laughter emanate from under his mask. I trust you are getting your warriors ready for battle. We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we have learned this is not their only nest. The Fifth Eye wags a hand in the air with a high-pitched squeal of displeasure. Given their pattern of attacks, they must have a second group maintaining camp here in the Outer Valley, and unless we deal with this second group, they'll attack from behind the moment we cross the river. The disfavored think you can't control your horde, and that many are defecting back to the Vendrian Guard. Wrong, and perhaps he gestures with his spear in an arc toward the sprawling camp. It is no mean feat to herd this many desperate lives. For every 2 hands of humanity, there's at least 1 finger that snaps from the stress of our ways. A few have been lost on the margins, I won't deny that. But if you store grain, expect some rat feces. If you lead killers, expect some desertion. So you need help taking out these Oathbreakers? Well, I was debating just poisoning them all. Certainly worked in the past, and I don't recall you having a problem with such a tactic. The commander chuckles, nodding slowly. But we have no time for such slow-boiling plans. We must take direct action. Three year 29. Okay, nice. About 8 years, if I recall. A lot of my friends still play Hearthstone. Wait, Hearthstone is only 8 years old? No, it's definitely older than that. It's definitely older than that, because Wreckful used to play it, right? Pokemon Snap? Hearthstone, not for years. Interesting, okay, right there. Definitely got to go with the Vamp, the Imp, or the Oracle then. Criminal Mastermind, I'd go with the Imp. And while a good old-fashioned slaughter would be an efficient solution, the smarter answer is not to kill them, but to add their strength to ours. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners, and one of these prisoners claims she can lead us to the Vendrian Guard secondary camp, though there are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this Varia Kel. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try and take their captain and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. Why not just ask the Archon of Secrets? I thought he could interrogate anything. An unintelligible mutter escapes from under the Fifth Eye's mask as his posture stiffens. That was a bad question? And I'm sure you can drink all manner of cider, but that doesn't mean you'll drink every barrel of cider in sight. A boring, insignificant mind is a waste on the Archon's efforts. Okay, okay. I've known the Archon to demand personal interrogations, but it's only ever been with leaders, mages, or others of great merit. I've often imagined the interrogation process is not to be taken lightly. Perhaps it's downright exhausting for Narat. Are a few more conscripts going to change anything at this point? Seems wiser to just kill them. But the Crimson Spear pauses, his body frozen and shrugged. But that is our way. We offer redemption, even to those who have harmed us. Besides, I'm not truly interested in any old conscripts, but rather one specific one, their leader. Captain Pelox Florin is one of the finest warriors the Vendrian Guard have left. It is double the injury to take your foe while adding to your own clan. I don't belong to Archon Narat. What's my help worth? You wound me, Fate Binder. The Fifth Eye placed his hand over his chest, feigning the start of a swoon. And I thought the joy of working for the illustrious Archon of Secrets would be reward enough. But you'd need to be missing half your head to think an expert works for free. Tell me, what will make this worth your while? My price is knowledge. The Archon of Secrets knows a great deal of magic, does he not? Are you sure I can't interest you with pleasure slaves instead? The Fifth Eye taps his fingers to under his mask. The Fifth Eye taps his finger to his masked chin. A high-pitched groan of contemplation emanating from under the mask. I agree to your conditions. I will share with you some blood chanter lore, but I will need some time to prepare parchment, and such things will have to wait until the Oathbreakers are silenced, and we are no longer forced to act by this edict. All right, then definitely go. Let me check. It's a 15 or so, because Hearthstone is a wild game. Yeah, playing games like Fatebinder, those just condemn them to death. They came up with this bullshit. I'm going to take a guess that most of them are not used to talking with a Fatebinder and don't realize the danger. While you're right, Frick, I feel old. It's 10 years old. There we go. That sounds better. That sounds better. I'm 20 for the next month and 2 days. Wow, is that right? Well, happy early birthday. Philip, what's up, dude? How are you, man? Hearthstone was released on Windows 2014, so 10 years ago. Interesting. Feels old, man. Season. Y'all are just veterans of life. It's all good. I agree with your conditions. I will share. Oh, yeah, we said that. I will speak with the prisoner. I will meet you there. She is waiting by the other prisoners. Ooh. Bronze hammer. I'll sell that. People interrogate her. Okay, that's fine. Upon noticing your approach, the merchant strains his posture and smiles. What an honor! The name Snigler. Oh, that's not Smuggler. It's Snigler Dagos. Originally from the relative tranquility of the Northern Empire, I've since accepted a nomadic life for the sake of keeping Cairo's forces supplied with only the finest goods, local and imported. Let me see your wares. He winces a little. It's not much, but let me know if you see anything that piques your interest. All right, let's see. Ripper, one-handed. What is this? Oh, it's a Jacqueline. Bronze dagger. How do you feel about this bronze dagger? The bronze dagger is... Oh, I keep forgetting. I think I'm supposed to hold on to this. Scarlet Course armor. Additional armor. Additional deflection. Sure, I'll take that. What's this? Horde boots. Yep. Scarlet Fury gloves. That is exactly the same as what she has. Scarlet Fury helm. Why is this helm better? This is interesting. 2%. +6 accuracy. Okay, so yeah, it just gives an additional +3 accuracy. Okay, here's what it is. And what's Fire Art Stone? Sigil of Fire. +10 to control fire if we were dealing with magic. That. Alright, and we definitely gonna sell that. This light armor. Iron rusted sword. This jagged piece of scrap metal issued to the Scarlet. Still a few hundred of these clustered in a disparate hand can make a startling difference. This rusted sword can be sold to a merchant as spare parts. Okay, cool. Sold to a merchant. Also sold to a merchant. We know we're supposed to get rid of this as well. I may. Oh wait, no. I'm supposed to get rid of that. I may not have enough points. What's this? Plus 40 armor, corrode, stolen after 30 seconds. What? Staggering burn envelops injured foes. Oh, this is for something you put on a weapon. Okay. And what does this do? Plus 2 armor. To guard themselves. What's this? A hide. Doesn't say anything else, so I'm assuming I don't need that. Skycap mushroom improves plus 4 wits, plus 10 lore, plus 10 to all magic skills. This is invisibility. All right. Just can't take all of this just yet. All right, so we'll dock that for now. Trade the rest of this and hopefully be able to come back. Better card game, Gwent or Hearthstone? I've only been able to play Gwent, so that's the only one I can comment on. I think Gwent is absolutely fantastic. Hey, Slandered, glad the YouTube algorithms once again blessed me with your live streams. Good to see you too, Philip. Hope you're doing well. Do people actually play Gwent seriously like that? When that side game released, I was shitting on everyone. Why? You didn't like the side game? I thought the side game had, it's not something I play again, but it definitely had merit for one time. These threadbare tents show signs of hard use and long-term exposure to the elements. Oh, they won't let me talk to you? Okay, fine. Oh, what's this? Small marks have been painted onto the corpse, marking certain body parts as more difficult targets than others. Oh, we could rest there if we want to. Well, look who we have here. Chewing on some manner of cud, a heavy-set soldier flings spittle and crumbs as she talks. The faint binder finally shows himself. I'm Reg, the second soldier chimes in, and this is Boz. We were wondering when you might pay the camp a visit. The fifth eye has been a little starved for attention. He ordered us to watch you like a troublesome babe. Make sure you don't get out of line. Baz knits her fingers together, joints crackling as she smiles. Reg clears his throat loudly, scowling at Boz. Something like that. If you have questions, ask us. Good luck finding anyone else in camp who'll give you answers or even a smile. So anything we could do for you? Tell me about yourself, Baz. I was a sellsword at the beck and call of fat merchants, just another dented face in the crowd. After too many years of spilling blood in local skirmishes, I realized that I was only killing time. Then Kairos showed me a better way. Unity. Purpose. Now I fight for something, not just someone. Been watching the Scarlet Furies, practicing my blade work. Not good enough to join them yet, but I bet I can show you a thing or two. Tell me about yourself, Reg. He scratched the back of his head at a loss for words. I had a family, a farm. Then the chorus came and, well, now I have the chorus. Priorities change when you hear screams in the night and feel a blade pressed to your neck. Things like farms or families don't seem as important. I used to have nightmares thinking about the culling. Felt awful, remembering how I hacked my mom and dad to bits just so I could survive. Good Lord. Red's eyes shadow for a moment with sorrow, take on a feverish gleam. The fifth eye heard me howling one night, pulled me out of the horde and took an interest in me. Now I'm studying magic, calling fire from nothing. If my mom and dad could see me now, they'd be so proud. That's so ridiculous. Nice. Hearthstone has far more potential. Its single-player adventures and adventures show that along with multiplayer. Gwent had potential as well, but it didn't get the running start Hearthstone did. Gwent is great, though. Played it so much in Witcher 3. Yeah, I thought it was great in Witcher 3, and I really enjoyed it less so in Thronebreaker because I felt like they added too many layers to it, too many different things going on. But just the basic card game, I thought was really, really cool. Tell me about your time in the Scarlet Course. Reg and I were conscripted at the gates of judgment. He used to fight for Okan, me for Azur. Baz chuckles, sketching his chin in thought. How many fights we survived so far? 11? Reg begins to count in series across his fingers. No, 14. I count each day in Sundar separately. The chorus is, Baz looks about the camp and shrugs. Not as bad as it smells. The strong, like me and Reg, we're allowed to take what we want, what we deserve. We live only as well as our strength affords us, as it should be. What can you tell me about the fifth eye? Reg trades an uncomfortable glance with Baz and lowers his voice to a whisper. They say he shares a direct link with the voices of Narat. Guard your tongue around him. He's a little wild, bloodthirsty, mad. Baz thinks for a moment. Brilliant. Reg flinches and glances over his shoulder. I was going to say eccentric. The chorus isn't picky about who joins the ranks, so you can expect to find some unusual types. Most are as likely to kill you as promote you. Okay. Just gotta check my mic real quick. What do you know about Vendrian's well? The walls might seem imposing, but the Vendrian guard do a better job of hiding its weaknesses than fixing them. She shrugs. We took the Citadel once before, we can take it again. We have to, don't we? Reg looks up at the imposing tower of the spire. Though Kairos knows I don't want to stay any longer than necessary. She follows his gaze and shakes her head. You should know better than to parade your cowardice before the Fatebinder. It's not cowardice, it's just superstition. Are you afraid of the spire? Sorry, Fatebinder. I shouldn't have mentioned anything. He sighs. The fact of the matter is, we were told to stay away from spires and old walls ever since we were babes. Of all the dumb childhood lessons that fell by the wayside, that one stayed the same. Initially didn't like Gwent, but it grew on me. Nice, okay. I really enjoyed it in Witcher 3. In fact, I like the progression of it because they had Gwent in Witcher 1 as well. And it finally grew to what it became in Witcher 3, which I feel like is a successful minigame all onto its own, in its own right. Like Final Fantasy worthy. Like Final Fantasy prides itself on its minigames. And I feel like Triad from Final Fantasy VIII was an incredible card minigame. And I put Gwent like close to that, right up there. Wonder if you can disband both the Scarlet Course and the Disfavored and make something new from both of them. I don't think you can make something new from them, but you can definitely disband them. Imagine a soldier of the Course pissing himself over architecture. More like what's underneath it, Reg frowns. The Bane lurk around these old sites and kill anything they can catch unawares. I've no wish to meet the Bane in combat unless there are 100 blood chanters at my back. She twists her lip into a frown as she considers this. Me neither, I suppose. Baz, let's see what you can teach me. Let's dance, Binder. Bows. Oh, yeah. Bows? I'll take bows. Oh, wait. No, I won't. Damn. All right. That's not happening. Oh, wait. No. That's brown stuff. Yeah, we're good. Bows. 18, 19. All right. And then you. She needs dual wheel. And then he doesn't like any of that. Whoa, wait a minute. What's that? Baz spits a wad of chewed bread into her open palm. These rations are foul. Taste it. Can't tell if it's poison or mold. I heard that our watch has spotted a disfavored scout by the grain stores. You don't think. I feel fine. Maybe it's an herb to slow my hand in battle. Sabotage is a coward's weapon. Maybe it's just gone bad. Seeing you, Reg pockets his ration without taking a bite. Faint Binder? Reg, show me what the fifth eye has been teaching you. We'll make this valley burn. Oh, I could have gotten an upgrade in lore or subterfuge. We'll give, actually, Vera could use some additional lore. Because I want him to be able to use certain spells. Okay.
No doubt.
Whoops. Farewell. There we go.
Nice.
We don't need anything.
Not happening.
Whoops, nope. That says subterfuge locked. The stench of piss and fecal matter emanate from this tent, one clearly not used for rest. What is this? One-handed sword. I'll take that. These spears are brittle and rusted. KK, what's going on? Huh, guess I'm gonna go ahead and do my 5th Tyranny playthrough. And here we go with the candy man. Wow. Hey, what's going on, baby? Yakuza has a lot of cool mini games as well. You know what? I'm thinking I might give Like a Dragon a try. I keep hearing it's a pretty incredible turn-based game. Let's deal with Variah before we let that sage speak. Please, someone! I wish to bow before the verses of Narat. I thought all could find redemption in the chorus. A woman in the makeshift armor of the Vendrian Guard lurches forward in agony. Her soiled, trembling legs suggest she has been forced to stand for days. This one, he flippantly waves at the prisoner, was hollering earlier that she knows the location of the Vendrian Guard encampment, but she isn't being entirely honest. I told this thing. The prisoner turns pale for a moment before a look of determination comes over her face. That I wanted to guarantee I'd live and be welcomed to the course as a captain. Then I'll talk. Otherwise, they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join with the Vendrian Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my bargaining bronze. You claim you would disavow your people for the Scarlet Chorus. Why the change of heart? Because I want to live, and you don't need to be the Archon of Premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. She blinked several times, catching her breath. Kairos is the new strength of the Tears, and I would rather stand with his Archons than be crushed by them. Why should I trust the words of an Oathbreaker? I suppose I have no answer for that. Varia's eyes fall to the ground and she swallows nervously. When I joined the Vendrian Guard, I accepted their broken vow onto myself. Have you not felt passion for a foolish cause? One you later came to regret? Well, my surrender is sincere, and I'm willing to bow before the voices of Narat to prove it. Tell me what you know, and I can see to your release. I heard the course is looking for Captain Pelox Florian and his crew. I can lead you to them, but only if you release me. She turns her head, taking a long look at skewered and smoldering corpses around her. She tugs at her restraints, but to no avail. Just picked up the Ripper for my new dual wielder. These hardcore card players aren't playing around. Start losing and start wishing death on their opponent's family members. Yes, this part. Does anything bad happen for not defending the defender's heart and wrath of the righteous? I don't know what specifically it is, Joshua, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, something awful happens. Subterfuge. You're lying. Why don't you tell me what you actually know and I'll see about saving you? Well, you see, shaken by your demand, her lips moved wordlessly for several seconds. So I don't know exactly where the rest of my crew is, but I can tell you. She shakes her head, catching her breath. Search that one. She reaches up with her right leg and points with her foot, calling attention to a nearby pile of corpses. The tall, dark one missing most of his face. Check his left boot. He was the literate one in our crew. He had the orders. With a snap of his fingers, a pair of choirmen yank the boot of the fallen guardsman. A rolled parchment slides out of the boot and is thrust into the fifth eye's hands. He unfurls the scroll to give it a read. It's nonsense, just a mash of words. Laughter erupts from under the mask. She says she had information. She gives us garbage. Slay this wretch for wasting our time. He snaps his fingers at a nearby Scarlet Fury, who promptly snatches a long knife from her belt. I heard her say she swears fealty to the voices of the rat. An initiation rite would be in order. Seeing as you are an expert on the subject of fate, I will entertain your wisdom on the matter. What then would you propose we do with her? The Scarlet Chorus always want to forgive people and allow them into the group. I wonder why that generated wrath. I'm confused. I didn't realize you get Lantry this early. That's actually pretty cool. And yeah, I agree, he is cool. I skipped it on Unfair because it was too hard. And I'm sure it took forever to do, right? Yeah, I don't blame you. Cars Wars and Adventure Time. Take the cake. Goated. Um, let's see. Send her back as our agent. When the time comes, she will aid us, or we track down her kin. I will need to think of a good explanation for my escape, but I'm certain I can return and avoid suspicion. Thank you. You will not regret this act of mercy. This will end amusingly, for the Vendrian Guard would be smart to assume she only escaped by our whims. You there! The Fifth Eye barks at a pair of guardsmen, beckoning them forward. Release our newest recruit. She has orders to infiltrate the Oathbreakers. See that she is escorted to the river's edge. Mariah inhales deeply, flexing her fingers as she shakes off the stiffness of being tied to a post for days. I will return to the Vendrian Guard, act well my part, and await further instructions from the corps. With a nod, she follows her escorts out of the camp. We're no closer to finding the Oathbreaker's position, not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answers, and all she gave us was gibberish.
Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely, it's one of the local scripts.
The voice comes from another prisoner tied up next to Variah, an older gentleman with the quills, ink vials, and parchment scrolls one finds on the sages of the School of Ink and Quill. Ink smudges cover his cheeks, temples, and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the rips of the fabric, you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emaciated and tied to a post, he offers a beaming smile. Who are you?
I'm Sage Lantry, one of the hired quills that was coordinating missives between the Vendrian Guard captains. They aren't paying me anymore and aren't coming to my rescue. So I'll decipher that parchment for you. That's what smart prisoners do, right? Make themselves useful?
The voice of the rat sucks out her knowledge anyway and stakes her. Yeah, that's what I figured. I made her kill the guards. Another interesting option. She's not stitching those. She might help us. We'll see. I don't remember how that decision works out. Showing the parchment. Can you read this?
Let me see. I can't.
You hold the parchment in front of the bound sage, and his eyes dart down the length of the missive. He reads the words a second time, nodding in silence.
I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
A few hours. Either you can read it or you cannot. What use is a sage that doesn't know his letters? I've heard all I need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. Your life depends on your translating this scroll now.
I would love to help. I just need some time. That's written in another sage's shorthand. I'd have to sit down with it, or better yet, compare it to a piece of his writing I have stashed on me somewhere. If I sat down with it while sufficiently sober, it's highly probable I'd figure it out.
Sober? Since when do we share the good stuff with the prisoners?
Oh, nobody shared. Right before I was taken prisoner, I imbibed several vials of reagents. I wanted to be numb and disconnected when my captors used me for carnal catharsis. It's made these last few days tied to a post almost enjoyable.
I'm still hoping for Tyranny 2 one day, KK, but I do agree that it's unlikely we'll get it. Where's the knight that helped me and ran? So, like, absolute shit. Yeah, Tyranny did not sell well at all. It was a really bad time for Obsidian. I'm pretty sure they lost a lot of money on Tyranny. And it seemed to damage their relationship with Paradox as well. Which doesn't matter now since they're connected with Microsoft, but back then it was a big deal. It can't hurt to give him a few hours. You read the edict. I don't need to tell you the Sundial is working against us. This addled old bag is just trying to stall us. The voices of the rat will be upset to know you squandered a source of military of enemy intelligence. How true. And we shan't put him to waste. He will serve as the most riveting source of amusement as we put him on trial. Wait,
Fatebinder,
what?
I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
Release this prisoner at once. I'm taking him into my custody. Not a chance. He's our prisoner. If you think you can crack the information we need out of his skull without troubling the Archon, that's one thing. But you're not walking out of here with our property. Lore, true, but by Kairos' law, he could swear fealty to me and become my sworn vassal, my property.
A most clever technicality. And I would happily serve the Archon of Justice's warrior. Especially if it means getting out of this mess without a perforated lung.
Silence, old man. Good luck bowing to the Fatebinder with your head pulled from your neck. The fifth eye jabs a finger at you. The course earned this prisoner right and proper. If you wish to rob from me, go ahead. But all will know you are the sort of Fatebinder to take as you please. Wonder what Laren is cooking. I can't wait to find out. Free my hands. I think better. What's going on, Destiny? I love that about Lantry's lore. He does drugs. Different but familiar. Yeah, so I think what it is, it's a Destiny game, but it's going to be more action RPG like Diablo than CRPG like Divinity Original Sin 2. Or it could be a brand new IP. That's a possibility as well. IPs always scared me for companies I love. I trust Lyrian though. All right, I'm not sure what to do. We could do athletics, which would give him more athletic points, put him close to a level up. But you know what? Actually, I'm being like, if it's a fight you want. Did you hear that, brothers and sisters? Raising his arms to the sky, the fifth eye roars for all nearby to hear. Trial by combat is upon us. The sage is unbound from the post. Stiff legs nearly buckle as he attempts to walk, and his arms flex and flail in their new freedom. Wiping sweat and grime from his brow, the sage steps close to you with a nervous smile. Rhythmic roaring and the stomping of hundreds of feet in unison flood the camp. Hordemen begin to circle and swirl about, brandishing weapons and cheering. If they got this worked up over to fight the enemy, I venture the war will be over by now. Begin the chant of gathering. Let the warriors know that tonight's entertainment will soon commence. Uh-oh. What have I gotten myself into? Brothers and sisters, who among you sets the standard for strength? Who among you will help winnow the weak from the strong? The fifth eye waves his hands in the air, drawing in a gathering of coarse soldiers. Our claimants have been assembled. Now let the trial of the Oathbreaker begin. Okay. I guess we'll go with you. Renewal. Restore. Fill the target with a wave of greatness, granting them increased bonus to might.
Yours! Consider it done.
Already I did this poorly, but it's fine. Do that, and then you. Okay.
Get back here!
Boom, boom, boom. You. Oh. You know what? I kind of like this. restoring touch. Who needs? You probably should put that on yourself. Oh wait, and then I have Barrick. He's only doing a regular attack right now. Where is Barrick in this? Okay, so he's. Oh, that's him right here. So actually, here you first.
Ready?
Okay. Do 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 do. There we go. That's gonna end you. You know, she might end you even faster. What does this do? Powerful attack that traps nearby enemies are twisted, petrifying them for a short time. Sure, why not? Restore armor.
You got it.
Okay. There we go. There we go. He's doing that. What does this do again? Bear. Oh, Joker and Barrick. Oh, okay. Interesting. In fact, I kind of like this.
Will do.
Ready for another?
Yep, there we go. Too late for another.
Right.
And there we have it. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Ledger got KO'd in mind and talked to me as he laid on the ground. Wow. Apollo, what's going on, man? How are you? The game looks much better graphically than Pillars of Eternity. Yep. I think this was in between Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. So it looks better than 1, and then 2 it looks up, like a step up from this. Oh yeah, if Baldur's Gate 3 hadn't done well, it would have completely wiped out Larian. But they're not going to take as big a gamble with their next game. Like BG3, the development took so long because of the war in Ukraine and COVID. Like having those two things back to back during development, it's extremely doubtful that they would have to go through that again. Hopefully, at least. By the righteous shedding of blood, we have found our answer. Regrettably, it appears the sage is worthy of leaving our camp alive. The fifth eye offers a short, mocking bow to Lantry. By the customs set forth by the voices of Narat, you are free to go, old man. Brag to your grandkids that you fell afoul of the course, yet lived to tell the story. That was fun. Your warriors almost put up a good fight. It really is bloodletting weather, is it not? My conscripts need to see more warriors of your skill in action. I thank you for the lesson you have given the camp. I thought I'd die tied to that post. The sage looks down at his rope-worn wrist in disbelief. Now hand me that parchment. I'm certain I can decipher it. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I can make out the important parts of the text. The note makes mention of a meeting spot west of Trip Nettle. So the old sage knows the words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can get this Captain Florian to yield to the chorus. They will strike at first sight of a chorus gang, but perhaps they will parley if yours is the face they see. I know the area, and I suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far from the stench of this camp. Something's amiss. There's a lot of fighting you for an old scholar. Now you're offering to join this expedition. I've met sages every bit as cutthroat as hardened gang bosses. They act the part of doddering scribes, but don't let that fool you. Smart for someone your age to be so mistrusting. But I'm not with the Oathbreakers, if that's what you're fishing at. I work for them under duress, but I've no love of them. I'm not about to pledge to the cause, and the disfavor wouldn't have me. Still, I consider myself a Kairos-fearing vassal of the Overlord's empire all the same. For as long as I've been a sage, I've been trained to defend myself. We don't spend all our time binding books and sketching wildlife, just most of it. For centuries, we've been in a quiet war with the School of Tides and the School of Wild Wrath. You can't travel alone as much as I do and not know the bronze dance. And your little quill dagger, just for decoration? Well, I mean, sages always need to have a quill handy, so it's just sort of blends into the ensemble on a casual glance. And the customary term is bladed remix. But who's keeping track? You offered to come with me. Why? Man, I finally get to do my first BG3 playthrough in 8 days. Whoa, your first one? You're about to be have a special treat. Baldur's Gate 3 is incredible because the alternative is what? Living here with these illiterate brutes? My old study is under a river of fire and there's no family missing me. Besides, I'd much rather chronicle the binder that twice proclaimed an edict of Kairos. I'd be a fool to let someone else write your story. You want to chronicle me? Well, of course. Even if the burning library is never rebuilt, our work to chronicle the days and events needs cease, and you're a noteworthy player in this whole war. I can't think of another living fate binder that's been twice given the honor of proclamation. Swear fealty to me, and I will let you leave this place with me. Fear. If that is your price, I will pay it. I, Sage Lantry of the School of Ink and Quill, do pledge my services and scheme to the Fate Binder, and, by extension, to the court of Tunnen. He dips into a steep bow before rising with a solemn smile. I know I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly and how not to get killed, really. I won't slow you down. Lead the way, and let me know if I can be of service. Are we done here? Let's hightail it to Trip Nettle. If your new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears. All right. And doesn't let me, did I already loot them? Maybe I did. I didn't think I did. More difficult than others. Fifth Eye. We were originally going this direction. Okay.
No dice.
Why? Where is it supposed to be going? Okay. Over here. Yep. That. Oh,
No,
that's why I
sorry.
didn't go over here. The subterfuge isn't up to par yet. It's gonna disappear for a week. Probably the Russ watches slander. Good night. Yep. Take care, Sunset. Have a good evening.
You see that?
Oh, okay.
Good thing I keep a
it's
torsion wrench
official.
handy.
You can uncover hidden items without actually having to be in stealth mode. Most of these provisions are withered with rot. Battle plans are scribbled over a blood-stained map of the tears. Arrows point toward the inner ring of the Vendrian Well Valley, and small circles are drawn around the citadel. This barrel is full of murky red water. Severed limbs bob under the greasy soup skin. Yikes. These arrows are splintered, likely fletching model. They were likely pulled from corpses. I predict he climbs the Karlak mountain. Fun times. Going to play a 2-player split screen with my friend. Oh, nice. Recently I've been such a vibe. That's awesome, Gifu. I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad you've been enjoying them. You, as much an accusation as a question, the broad-shouldered woman shakes her head with a scowl. So you're Tunnen's fate binder. I was expecting something more impressive. She bows in spite of her misgivings. Death knell. Scarlet fury. My time is yours for as long as it amuses me. The fighter effortlessly spins a brown sword about in her hand. Let's get one thing clear. Stick to your words and law. Leave the fighting to the grown adults. Your courts would just be a tripping hazard to those of us having a proper bit of carnage sport. We've got enough useless twats dying for our name as it is. All our horde recruits seem good for of late is piling in a shit-reeking mound on the battlefield. She hums low to herself and flips her sword side to side with several deft flicks of her wrist. Keeps up, and we'll have to toughen our recruitment standards. Again. Now, what do you need? All right, hold on. Obviously, we want to talk with her, but I am actually getting tired. It's been been burning the midnight oil for the past few streams, so this time we're going to end it at somewhat around 3 hours. I think I've streamed for around 3 hours, so that I can actually get some extra rest. But hopefully all of you have enjoyed this. I definitely plan to do a full playthrough of Tyranny, so most likely I'll be back at it tomorrow evening. We'll see. And I am absolutely looking forward to getting through more of the game. So hopefully I'll see you all in the next stream. Take care. Ah, Marco, you just missed us. Glad you're able to join for a hot second, though, man. Hope you're having a good night. So small. Is this an airplane sim? No sad door. But I might have had it zoomed all the way out. You know, and I'll keep that in mind. Maybe next time I'll zoom in a little bit more so the figures look a little bit larger and more impressive. What a cloud. Take care, Goofu. Have a good night. Oh yeah, I love the setting for Tyranny and the way they changed how your weapons and armor looks to be more appropriate with that bronze setting. I think it's really, really cool. Take care, Sunset. Have a good one.